Our main character is just a bottom-tier patrol soldier, but with just a gentle tap on a strength tester, he leaves the elite special forces completely shell-shocked. Not only does he shatter the record, but his single tap completely trashes the machine too. After testing out his most basic skill, he accidentally blows away 3 skyscrapers. With power like this, even an Overlord-level monster would be shaking in its boots. Even the eldest daughter of the Legion's chief of staff tries to recruit him, offering a deal he can't refuse, gathering intel on his missing sister. Because in this chaotic world, only the military has the resources to pull off that kind of high-level intel gathering. It all started when humans, digging too deep into archaeological research, accidentally broke the seal of a mysterious ancient ruin. This plunged the world into an unprecedented catastrophe. A crimson mist rolled in, swallowing entire cities, and any human caught in it was devoured by a horrifying mutating power. Other living creatures mutated along with it, turning into bloodthirsty monsters. Using the mist as cover, they tore the cities to shreds, and the tragedy from 3 days ago is forever burned into our main character's memory. 3 days ago, the military was broadcasting emergency messages, telling everyone to stay calm and remain indoors. Right then, our main character's family was trapped in their car when suddenly, someone started pounding frantically on the glass, screaming at them to get out of the way. His dad angrily spat that the government was full of crap, calling it a natural disaster when they'd already deployed the military. Just then, his little sister huddled close to him. "Bro, I'm scared. Don't worry, sweetie. I'm right here." But the commotion outside was just too massive. What on earth was that crimson mist anyway? Suddenly, a massive explosion erupted, sending a car flying straight into the air. And wouldn't you know it, that very car was hurtling right toward his family's vehicle. He quickly shielded his sister's head, and with a deafening crash, the 2 cars slammed together like an Oreo cookie. "Mom, Dad, are you guys okay?" His dad groaned back, saying his leg was pinned. To make matters worse, a terrifying beastly roar echoed through the air. The entire family turned their eyes toward the sound. What on earth was that? They saw a monstrous beast howling in rage. Soldiers were desperately unloading their guns into it as a terrified crowd fled behind them. Seeing this, his dad screamed, "Get out of here, now!" Our main character kicked the car door open with one hard blow and dragged his sister out. He desperately yanked at the front door to free his parents, but they cried out, "Take your sister and run. Don't worry about us." But how could he just abandon them? "No, I'm not leaving you," his little sister screamed in terror. "Help!" But realizing her scream might draw attention, she quickly clamped her hands over her mouth. His mother wept, begging him to run. They both gave him a brave, reassuring smile. "You're a man now, son. Be a good big brother and take care of Xiao Shui." A split second later, something slammed brutally into the car, blasting our main character and his sister back. It turned out to be a pitch-black beast, what looked like a heavily mutated dog. Even more terrifying, sharp, exposed bones were protruding from its underbelly. And just like that, his parents were gone. But the monster had already locked its eyes on our main character. Biting through the agonizing pain, he grabbed his crying sister, who couldn't bear to leave, and bolted. Explosions were rocking the streets as if the apocalypse had arrived. Flying monsters filled the sky, even swarming and taking down military jets. Both animals and humans were completely losing their minds. Our main character had no clue what was happening. All he could do was pull his sister along and keep running. With the streets echoing with monster roars, he dragged her into a dark corner to hide. Terrified of being spotted, he put his brain into overdrive, using 100% of his mental capacity to think of a way out. A nearby supermarket would have plenty of cover and supplies. Maybe they could hold out there until help arrived. Watching the beast walk away, he let out a sigh of relief. It's finally gone. But a second later, his sister let out a painful cry, red veins spiderwebbing across her face. Our main character realized the same veins were appearing on his own face. "Xiao Shui, what's wrong? Bro, I feel so sick. What was going on? Could this be from inhaling too much of that crimson mist?" He frantically soaked a cloth with water and covered his sister's nose and mouth. But a second later, his own mutation intensified. It was burning hot, like something was desperately trying to tear its way out of his body. His sister panicked. "Bro, what's happening to you?" I'm fine." He tried his best to suppress the mutation, but his struggle caught the attention of a nearby monster. Tears welling up, his sister begged, "Please don't scare me like this." Seeing the beast closing in, he realized they'd been spotted. He had no choice but to grab his sister and run. But very quickly, he realized something was terribly wrong. Another beast blocked their path ahead, and then another one emerged from the shadows. Terrified, his sister cried out, asking him what to do. Oddly, the monsters didn't attack immediately. It was like they were waiting for something. "Don't be scared, Xiaoshui. I've got you." Just then, an even louder roar shook the air, and a massive flying monster swooped down. Its landing sent a shockwave through the ground. It was clear this thing was the pack leader. Was this really where they were going to die? Without hesitation, he pulled his sister and bolted inside the nearest building. There was only one beast inside, whereas staying outside was suicide. They had to take their chances and fight the one indoors. Our main character grabbed a metal pipe and lunged forward. It might look terrifying, but at the end of the day, it was just a rabid dog. But just a second later, his hopes were crushed as the rod snapped instantly. The beast let out a deafening roar. He never expected this beastly dog to be so strong. He could only use one hand and one foot to pry its jaws open, but a second later, an arrow pierced right through its eye. Safe to say, it was blind in one eye now. "Are you okay, brother?" "I came to help. I couldn't find a gun, so I grabbed the only thing I could find in the supermarket. I'm okay, you did great." But this beast held a serious grudge. It completely ignored him and lunged straight for his sister, leaving him utterly horrified. Terrified, she turned and bolted. He screamed at her to keep running and not look back. Right then, his mutation symptoms started flaring up. Damn it, why did it have to be at a time like this? His sister tripped, and the beast was right on her heels. Fueled by sheer desperation, he literally crushed a concrete wall with his bare hands. In a desperate move, he hurled the massive chunk of debris straight at the wolf. "You bastard! Anyone who dares to lay a finger on my sister is going to die." He then grabbed a metal rod and repeatedly stabbed the werewolf in the head. Watching him go completely savage, his sister rushed over and desperately held him back. "Brother, what's wrong with you? Please stop. Don't do this. I'm fine, I beg you, please stop." His monstrous state had terrified her. Hearing her desperate cries, he slowly began to snap out of it. "Xiaoshu, I'm okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Are you really okay, brother? But before he could even finish his sentence, another monster lunged from behind Xiaoshu. He quickly shoved her out of the way. "Watch out." It turned out to be a mutant bird beast. Acting on instinct, he grabbed the nearby metal rod and swung it with all his might. "Get the hell away from my sister, you overgrown pest." To his absolute shock, the impact sent the massive bird flying. Wait, this strength. Can I actually beat these things? He didn't understand how, but there was no denying he had gotten significantly stronger. He quickly told his sister to find a safe place to hide while he took care of the rest of the beasts. Xiaoshu was terrified, but they had no choice. The pack was locking onto him, and he had to lure them away. "Brother, don't leave me. I'm scared. Don't worry, I won't lose control this time. Just wait for me here. It'll be over in a flash, and then I'll come right back for you, okay?" Understanding the situation, she nodded. But she made him make a promise. "Promise me. You'll come back in one piece." "Of course I will. Just trust your big brother." With that, he charged outside. If his theory was correct, hunting these beasts and absorbing their red energy was the key to unlocking more power. "You've got a lot of energy inside you, don't you? Tearing you apart will give me a massive boost, so you're going down." But to his surprise, this beast summoned a whole horde of backup. "Haha, guess I'm not worth your personal attention yet. In that case, I'll just slaughter your lackeys first." He brought the rod down hard, smashing a beast's skull. But a second later, another beast clamped its jaws onto his shoulder. With an angry roar, his aura exploded, surging with raw power. He threw both beasts off him, and his hands began to mutate, transforming into terrifying, razor-sharp claws. They pulsed with a dark red and black energy. So this is what raw power feels like? Perfect. Now, the real hunt begins. But right at that moment, a military jet roared overhead and dropped a bomb. The alpha beast let out a massive roar as a deafening explosion ripped through the area, sending thick smoke everywhere. But the military's strike had completely missed. The monsters were unscathed, and so was he. Letting out a wild war cry, he tore through the beasts with his newly mutated claws. He was left battered and exhausted. The moment he regained his senses, his first thought was Xiaoshu, but when he rushed back, only her stuffed doll was left behind. As his mutation slowly faded, reality set in. He had lost her. "Xiaoshu, I'm so sorry. I'm too late. Where are you? Mom, Dad, I failed you." He vividly recalled the moment the bomb dropped, staring down at hands that were no longer human. Why do my hands look like this? What is happening to me? As the bomb hurtled closer and closer, he had screamed at his sister to stay back because it was too dangerous. Right after the blinding blast, he faintly heard a radio transmission from a helicopter overhead. "We've got a survivor down there. Go check it out. Forget it. He's already infected. Leave him behind. They're bringing a girl up. Move fast. Those monsters will be back any second." He could do nothing but watch the helicopter disappear into the sky. But at least, there was a silver lining. Xiaoxiu was safe. "Brother, why? Why didn't you save me?" Suddenly, Xiaoxiu was consumed by roaring flames, turning to ash right before his eyes. He desperately reached out to grab her, but she was already gone. He gasped and bolted upright. It was just a nightmare. Damn it. That nightmare again. "Xiaoxiu, it's already been 6 months. Where on earth are you?" Fortunately, his mutated form hadn't been discovered back then. After those soldiers took Xiaoxie, he searched every nearby refugee camp, but came up empty-handed. Determined to find her, he enlisted and became a low-level patrol guard. In this broken world, only the military had the power and resources to gather intelligence. This is the border outpost of Chishi City. "Sorry, Captain, I am late." The captain immediately plants a hard kick right on his butt. "You idiot, where the hell were you slacking off? You were supposed to take over the shift, and look how late you are. Just another useless rookie." "My bad, Captain." Our main character quickly scrambles up the watchtower as the captain's voice shouts from below. "Some big shots are coming soon, and then we will finally get paid." Our protagonist replies, "Understood." 6 months ago, the red mist broke out. Most cities turned into ruins, becoming breeding grounds for monsters. But alongside the red mist, a mysterious red tower also appeared. To survive, humans had no choice but to stay far away from the spire and the mist's border. Is that guy still up there? The Special Response Force is handling things outside anyway, so once the border whistle blows, we can just coast through our shift. Honestly, if even they can't hold the line, what is a patrol squad like us supposed to do? The other two guys chime in. "That is the famous Special Response Force. How could they ever fail? Are you joking, Captain? They have killed countless beasts on their way here." Meanwhile, our protagonist silently sits on the watchtower. Sure enough, even after all this time, he still hates this bloody stench. This mist can trigger a creature's bloodlust, making them slaughter each other. Suddenly, our protagonist notices the mist clearing. No, wait, something is rushing over here at high speed. "Captain, we have an emergency. Look, what could it possibly be? Probably just some weak monsters." "Wait, why is the mist suddenly rolling in here?" "Captain, those are members of the Special Response Force. 2 people are frantically running out of the red mist." "Commander, what on earth is happening? Get back." Just a second later, the 2 of them let out blood-curdling screams. The captain screams into his walkie-talkie, "Everyone, scatter." But just a second later, a monster hooks its claws into the captain's uniform and lifts him straight into the air. The captain thinks he is done for. He can practically see his ancestors waving to him from the afterlife. Looking down from the watchtower, the red mist has completely enveloped the area, with only agonizing screams echoing through the fog. "Run, run, they are here." Our protagonist jumps straight down, instantly crushing a monster under his feet. The monster next to him roars furiously at our protagonist, but at this point, he is no longer the weak person he was 6 months ago. Free experience points delivered right to my doorstep? I will gladly take it. He quickly takes care of the second one. Next is absorption. Great. After absorbing this one, he feels himself getting a bit stronger. I wonder how much stronger I will get if I absorb a few more. Our protagonist looks at the 6 monsters surrounding him, but instead of being afraid, he is actually thrilled. "Don't disappoint me, you bastards." But just a second later, a loud boom echoes. A monster is sent, flying right past our protagonist. A woman wielding a weapon appears, stealing his kills. She is Song Yi, the captain of the Cheeksway Outpost Squad. Our protagonist thinks, "Shoot, she is from the Special Response Force. I need to change back quickly." Hopefully she didn't see anything. Leaving absolutely none of them alive, she wipes them all out. Immediately after, 2 gun barrels are pointed straight at our protagonist. Our protagonist quickly raises both hands, but they fire anyway. Fortunately, he is unharmed. It turns out he was just overthinking it. They targeted the monster behind him, confirming it was completely neutralized. Song Yi then looks at our protagonist. "Where's your weapon? patrolman. Our protagonist thinks, oh, I am in trouble, though he has to admit, she is actually pretty hot. All personnel from the watchtower retreat to the defense line. No one is allowed inside without Commander Song's permission. Song-yi looks at the data on her computer screen. Currently, 37 people from the watchtower are dead. Among them, 2 from the Chiksu Special Response Squad, 30 from the patrol squad, and the rest are general staff. After reporting the incident, our protagonist asks defensively, so why did you arrest me? I am a victim here too, you know. At 1723, you left your squad without permission for 2 hours. As soon as you returned, the red mist erupted. Why is that? Don't you think you owe me an explanation? This girl is way too sharp. I need to find a way to BS my way out of this. I was just taking a nap in some ruins. I already cleared it, with the captain. Just then, a teammate speaks up. Commander, this kid is late every single time we have a mission. The captain always lets him off the hook. What the hell, man? What kind of nonsense are you spouting? I will kick your butt right now. Don't go dragging the captain into this. Hearing this, Song-yi silently notes, it seems you patrolmen have quite a few issues. At that moment, the captain, who is getting medical treatment, suddenly sneezes. Captain, are you okay? Seeing this, the doctor says, don't worry, he is far from dead. All his vitals are completely normal. Is that what the doctor calls normal? Meanwhile, Song-yi is looking into our protagonist's personal file. The records show that you only completed basic combat training 3 months ago. Even 2 of our Special Response Force members just died, yet you managed to survive completely unscathed. To be honest, I am just really afraid of dying. I used to do track in school, so my legs are a lot faster than most people. The moment I saw the red mist, I bolted. If you are so afraid of dying, why did you choose to be a patrolman? Joining the military. Could he have another motive? A motive? Of course he does. For the past 6 months, while searching for his little sister, he has been constantly slaying and absorbing low-level beasts. Gradually, he learned to control his beast form and turn back into a human. He has searched every single shelter, but still has not found his sister. As a soldier, you are a coward who abandoned your post and kept vital information to yourself. Do you have any idea what the consequences are? What, are you going to have me executed? Then, Song-yi whispers right into the main character's ear, what is going on with those 2 hands of yours? He did not expect her to actually see it. You are lying. What exactly are you trying to hide? What is your real goal here? Just then, a massive explosion echoes from outside. Song-yi thinks it is an earthquake, but the main character knows something is off. This familiar feeling. And with that, he bolts outside. Run! A massive horde of beasts is heading this way. Song-yi is left speechless, shocked that he would actually run away right in front of her. But a split second later, she slams his head into the ground. Do you think I am invisible? Captain, the floor is cracking. Please go a bit easy on me. Suddenly, the ground completely shatters. Help! Save me! Except for Song-yi, everyone else falls flat on their backs. Where are we? It is pitch black down here. Turn on the lights. Yes, ma'am. You really are a bad luck magnet. Wherever you go, trouble follows. Let us worry about surviving first and complain later. Well, we are trapped. Once the lights are on, they realize this is a maze-like tunnel dug out by beasts. Everyone stay calm, check your weapons and maintain formation. Suddenly, the main character hears a draft. What is it? Is there a breeze coming from over there? Wind? If there is a draft, there is definitely a way out. I will go check it out. Sure enough, there is a breeze. Yan Hao, you might not have any other skills, but your running away game is absolutely top tier. Captain, there is wind over here, but he does not notice a monster lurking right behind him. With a loud bang, a bullet zips past and strikes the beast. The patrol soldier collapses in sheer terror. This insect monster is highly corrosive. Do not let them get close, and remember, do not act without my orders. Song-yi glances at the main character. Seems like you have a real talent for dodging danger. Yan Hao, you had better have a damn good explanation for me once we get through this. Still, the main character cannot figure it out. Since she already knows his secret, why has she not exposed him? What exactly is she after? Suddenly, a scuttling sound echoes all around them. Something is coming, and it is more of those same insect beasts from earlier. Holy crap, why is it always bugs? We are in deep trouble this time. These insect beasts are radiating pure bloodlust, looking at us like we are their next meal. Song-yi and her squad immediately open fire, shooting as they retreat. But suddenly, the main character stops dead in his tracks. Song-yi shouts at him to keep moving, but he replies, The insect beasts. They have stopped. Look up ahead. Standing right before them is a colossal, mutated insect. It is an Overlord-class beast, and it is actively absorbing the red mist. A second later, it begins gathering massive energy. The main character yells for everyone to watch out. This thing is extremely dangerous. Song Yi fires a shot, just as the mutated insect unleashes its energy beam. With a sharp, metallic clang, Song Yi's bullet deflects off its armored hide. At that exact moment, the beast's devastating energy beam charges straight towards Song Yi. Luckily, the main character swoops in just in time, shattering the energy beam with a single blow before completely absorbing its power. Yan Hao says, "Once we make it out of here alive, I will explain everything." But then, he notices something else. The exact spot Song Yi targeted has actually started to crack. At this point, Song Yi is getting nervous. Even my best shot did not do anything. Does Yan Hao really have a plan? Watch out. But the main character remains cool and confident. He has already slain hundreds, even thousands of these things. An Overlord class, huh? Beast classes rank from lowest to highest. Scout, Hound, Overlord, Behemoth, and Catastrophe. Without warning, the main character leaps forward. Die, you piece of trash. Under his razor-sharp claws, the beast's armored body is completely shredded. If I absorb your energy, I will get a pretty nice power-up, will I not? Landing on his feet, he frowns, unsatisfied with his strike. Damn, that is tough. Any normal beast would have been ripped to shreds by now. With a massive frame like that, this thing is basically an armored vehicle. You must have devoured a ton of your own kind to get this big, huh? Not backing down, the mutated insect immediately launches a fierce counterattack. But the main character easily dodges it. He even scoffs, too slow. He figures this thing pumped every single stat point straight into defense. His squad mates stand there, completely dumbfounded, wondering if they are dreaming. The guy they thought was a total pushover is actually a hidden powerhouse. What on earth is going on with him? No way. Is he not just some coward who runs faster than everyone else because he is terrified of dying? Just then, Song Yi's voice cuts through. He is a combat research subject trained to fight mutated beasts, a top-secret project of the coalition government. The same guy who took 3 months just to pass basic training and who flees faster than anyone. A beast combat research subject? What does that even mean, Captain? No. It was only when he stepped in to block that attack for me just now that I knew for sure. Upon hearing this, Deputy Captain Lam Chi-dong fell into deep thought. Could such a test subject really exist, or is Captain Tong Ni hiding something from us? He escaped from the lab and somehow managed to sneak into the patrol squad. Does that mean the last red fog outbreak was actually linked to Yan Hao? We can't rule out that possibility, which is exactly why I need to investigate him. This is the government's deepest, darkest secret. Everything you see and hear here is strictly classified. Keep your mouth shut, not a single word to anyone. Got it? The patrolman quickly nods. Yes, sir. Right then, the mutant beast charges up another energy blast and fires it straight at Yan Hao. He dodges it easily, but then panics. The energy blast is heading straight for Tong Ni and her 2 comrades. Watch out. The blast hits the ground, triggering a massive explosion. When the dust finally settles, Tong Ni is standing there completely unharmed. Looking incredibly cool, she crouches on the ground. Meanwhile, Yan Hao's colleague is panting heavily, unable to believe he actually survived. It turns out Lam Chi-dong had shielded him. Sir, your leg. Don't worry, I won't die from this. You really are a true elite officer, risking your life for a mere patrolman like me. But Lam Chi-dong simply replies, trading a leg for a life is a pretty good deal. But isn't your job to eliminate those beasts? You lost your combat capability just for me. I didn't join the military just to slaughter monsters. I joined to protect people and help them survive. As humans, we can't just abandon one of our own. Meanwhile, Yan Hao gets blasted backward. The beast armor on his arm begins to fade away. Damn it, the power of the red fog is completely gone. He can't even maintain a single arm transformation anymore. Yet, this Overlord-class mutant insect is still standing strong. So this is an Overlord class? It is a bit too much to handle. Just as the hideous dark insect lunges at him, a sudden fiery blast strikes it right in the head. Yan Hao stares in shock before realizing, Tong Ni? Tong Ni immediately yells out, Yan Hao, you can't die here. There are still too many things you need to explain to me. But her attack barely scratches the ferocious beast. Tong Ni looks on in horror, thinking, Is that thing laughing? Don't tell me. The red fog is actually leaking out from the depths of the cave? These interconnected tunnels allow it to easily redirect the red fog, using it to constantly regenerate its strength. Its wounds are already healing. At this rate, it is going to fully recover to its peak form in no time. So the sudden red fog outbreak at the outpost earlier was its doing too. She shouts, Yan Hao, we can't defeat this thing. We need to retreat right now. But Yan Hao flatly refuses. No way, this bastard dies here today. The red fog it summoned is actually helping me recharge. Plus, it can't move freely right now. This is our absolute best chance to strike. Tong Ni turns to him, warning, if this fails, you're going to lose your life. With sheer determination, he replies, I've knocked on death's door countless times. One more time won't make a difference. Moved by his resolve, she agrees. Fine, we only have one shot at this. I'll unleash everything I've got to shatter its head armor. You must seize that moment and destroy its brain. That's our only shot at taking this monster down. Tong Ni gets into position and screams, now. Her devastating strike successfully damages the dark insect. Yan Hao smiles. Yes, the head armor is shattered. He immediately lunges forward, targeting its exposed head. With eyes burning with pure rage, Yan Hao roars, go straight to hell. His relentless blows make the dark insect shriek in agonizing pain. Tong Ni watches from a distance, sighing in relief. Did we actually do it? Suddenly, sharp fragments erupt from its body, sending Yan Hao flying backward. Tong Ni's eyes widen as she rushes toward him, screaming, Yan Hao! In a panic, she desperately asks, are you okay? But then, she notices something on the ground. What is this? She picks up a slip of paper, whispering, a photograph? Meanwhile, the flying shards from earlier have left deep cuts all over Yan Hao's hands. The dark insect's blood must have been toxic, because Yan Hao's vision begins to blur. Where am I? His consciousness floats in a void as he wonders, am I dead? And what is that DNA-like thing flashing in front of me? He suddenly notices a shard embedded in his chest. Wait, isn't this the core that was inside that Overlord class monster just now? It looks like some kind of energy core. It was just in my hand a second ago, so how did it end up in my chest? What? It's actually absorbing the red fog. Not only is it absorbing the red fog, but it can also store it. This means even if I absorb massive amounts of fog for a stronger transformation, I won't have to worry about losing control anymore. Oh no, this new crystal has a limit to how much energy it can store. If this keeps up, I'm going to literally blow up. Suddenly, a thought strikes him. Of course, that giant insect's special move requires a massive amount of red fog to unleash. If I can absorb the fog, I just need to concentrate it all in one place. Sometime later, he finally wakes up inside a hospital room. Red energy kept pouring out of Yan Hao's body. Furious and highly annoyed, he roared, focus. Suddenly, Tong Nui barged in. Shocked, she cried out, Yan Hao, what are you doing? But it was already too late. Yan Hao was thrown off the bed, screaming, get back. Instantly, an explosion went off, sending waves of red light blasting outward. 5 minutes earlier, inside a massive skyscraper under a clear blue sky, a subordinate was delivering a report. Reassuring Adjutant Lam, Captain Tong Nui replied. As a soldier, he prepared himself for this long ago. You don't need to blame yourself. Inside the hospital room, Deng Qi asked, Captain Tong, what's wrong with Yan Hao? I've never heard of SU having test subjects before. She replied, Yan Hao's case is classified. Just focus on resting and getting better. You don't need to worry about anything else. I've already requested the minister to transfer you to logistics, so you can get some real rest from now on. He spoke up. I will report this to your father, Chief of Staff Tong Liam. I believe he will make his own judgment. Furious, Tong Nui snapped. Adjutant Lam, who exactly is your superior? As of right now, your communication privileges are suspended. Stay right here and don't go anywhere. A moment later, she asked, which room is Yan Hao in? Her subordinate replied, he's in room 304. Tong Nui ordered, come with me to his room. The two of them headed to room 304. Once there, she ordered, guard the door. No one enters without my permission. The subordinate replied, yes, ma'am. But as soon as Tong Nui pushed the door open, a massive amount of red vapor came pouring out. At that very moment, he was channeling energy into his hand. She screamed, Yan Hao. Tong Nui furiously demanded, What do you think you're doing? Yan Hao barked back. Get back. Instantly, a massive wave of power blasted out, knocking her to the floor. The sphere of magical energy surged outward, ripping right through the wall. The force was so immense that it blasted right through several buildings in a row. Looking out from his room, Deng-Chi thought, the abandoned building got blasted right through. What is going on with Yan Hao? Captain Tong Nui, how long can you keep this a secret? On the floor, the subordinate clutched his head and groaned. Why am I always the unlucky one? Help! This is terrifying. I don't want to die yet. Meanwhile, Tong Nui realized, is this the same move that Armored Insect used earlier? She wondered, how is Yan Hao able to directly control the beast's power without even using beast armaments? She turned her head and said, Yan Hao, you owe me a lot of explanations. A short while later, the two of them went up to the hospital rooftop. Crossing her arms, Tong Nui said, so you're saying you can not only absorb the beast cores, but also inherit their abilities? He replied, more than that. I can absorb and store red bones too, and that crystal block can even regenerate itself. Hearing this, she grew intrigued. Well, you certainly have a lot of functions, don't you? Yan Hao honestly replied, it's true that I've acquired their strength and abilities, but there's also a chance I'll slowly turn into one of them. With my body like this, can I even be considered human anymore? Captain Tong, what exactly am I to you? Tong Nui responded, you are you, a unique existence. Whether you're a human or a monster depends entirely on how you choose to use this power. But your power is both a curse and a weapon. Right now, you have two paths ahead of you. The first path is to join Crimson Blood and become a reserve soldier in my squad. The second path is to be labeled as a threat, just like the beasts, and be completely eliminated. Confused, he repeated her words. Eliminated? Tong Nui explained. Do you think that with the forces currently in this city, I'm actually capable of doing that? Right now, I honestly can't do anything to you. But if you think you can take on SU by yourself, you're being way too arrogant. Joining my squad won't disadvantage you at all. Identity, information, resources, I will handle all those troubles for you. Yan Hao sighed. A dangerous person you just met, with powers spiraling out of control. Are you seriously willing to take in a troublemaker like me? There must be a catch, right? Going all out like this just to recruit a newbie. Don't tell me you have an ulterior motive. She praised him. You're very smart. For certain reasons, I really do need you. But you have to believe that we are not enemies. Tong Nui's gaze instantly turned sharp. Perhaps you can view this as a business transaction. Yan Hao was taken aback. What? In her hand was a photo of him, and Tutu Yet. Stunned, Yan Hao blurted out. How did you get this photo? She said seriously, don't underestimate me. If I want to, digging up your past is a walk in the park. Just join Crimson Blood, and I'll deploy our highest level intelligence network to help you find your sister. He thought to himself, searching blindly on my own definitely has its limits. She's right. If I secure a higher rank and status in the military, I'll have access to more information, and it'll be much easier to take action. With that, Yan Hao spoke up, deal. But Captain, if you need me this badly, a little extra pay shouldn't be an issue, right? After all, my previous pay was completely spent on looking for my sister. Song Rui said coldly, Corporal Yan Hao, as the captain of Crimson Blood, I officially approve you as a Crimson Blood Reserve soldier. Your salary will be at the highest tier. Now, get out of here and complete the paperwork immediately. He waved back and replied, understood, Captain Song. I will head to the patrol squad right now to complete the transfer. Just as Yan Hao started to walk away, she called out, oh, and one more thing. I already paid for the hospital damages you caused. You do not need to pay me back right away, but it will be deducted from your future paychecks. Internally, Song Rui thought, Uncle, I will definitely find a way to save you. He scratched his head as he left, muttering, of course, I still have to pay for it. She stared at Yan Hao's receding figure, lost in thought. Her intuition told her that he held the key to turning mutated beasts back into humans. The car pulled up in front of the Redstone City Patrol headquarters. Yan Hao looked at Kang Yu with a puzzled expression. Why, do you want to join the special forces too? He slammed the car door shut. Kang Yu pointed to himself confidently and said, Captain Song and Adjutant Lin both think highly of me. Even though I am only joining the logistics department, Yan Hao, we can still look out for each other from now on. He looked at him helplessly, thinking, what was this guy's name again? I guess I never really paid attention to him before. Suddenly, he waved at someone behind Yan Hao. Look, It's Captain Gu. He is okay. Turning around, Yan Hao saw Jia Jun surrounded by a group of people. He gasped in surprise. The red-haired leader sneered. Old Gu, back then, you slapped me because of that mute woman. He delivered a brutal kick to Jia Jun's stomach, making him cough in agonizing pain. Look at you now, like a stray dog, begging our city defense force to pay compensation for your squad members? That was Zhang Shui, the captain of the Redstone City Defense Force. Seeing this, Kang Yu charged forward in anger. You bastards! But two men immediately pinned him down. All he could do was scream, let go of Captain Gu. Zhang Shui grabbed Jia Jun by the chin and demanded, kneel down and lick the mud off my boots. Or else, he threatened, pointing smugly at Kang Yu, I will break this kid's arm to make you a new cane. Hearing this, he gritted his teeth in sheer, helpless rage. Having no other choice, Jia Jun slowly began to kneel down in humiliation. Suddenly, Yan Hao pulled him back up and said, there is no need to kneel. Stunned to see him, Jia Jun gasped. Yan Hao? You? He gave a warm smile and said, you have helped me so much in the past. This time, it is my turn to repay the favor. Then, Yan Hao turned to the crowd and roared, with me here today, if anyone dares to touch a single hair on Captain Gu, I will grind his bones to dust and burn them as firewood. Hearing this, the thugs' faces contorted with rage, their blood boiling as they growled. Overestimating themselves, those four guys lunged forward with clubs, shouting, you are dead meat. Utilizing his enhanced strength, Yan Hao easily ducked to evade them. He delivered a high kick straight to the bald guy's face right before their stunned eyes. 1. Then, spinning around, he slammed his elbow into the chin of the guy on the right. 2. The guy behind him swung his club, but Yan Hao ducked under the blow and countered with a swift kick to his knee joint. 3. As for the last one, he landed a seemingly effortless punch to his stomach, making him spit up blood. 4. The guy crashed straight into the wall, shattering the concrete and sending debris flying. Within seconds, all four attackers were either knocked cold or rolling on the ground clutching their legs. One of them screamed, our captain is an E-rank warrior. How dare you lay a hand on us? You are dead meat. Meanwhile, a flash of shock crossed Zhang Shui's face as he thought, 4.4 seconds. How can this kid be so fast? Playing dirty, he whipped out a gun. You patrol squad trash. You dare oppose the city defense force? Do you think I won't? But before he could finish his sentence, the gun went off. Yan Hao simply tilted his body, effortlessly dodging 3 incoming bullets. He smirked, darting forward to grab the gun from his hand. But despite how fast the man could pull the trigger, the gun was crushed by Yan Hao like an orange, right before Zhang Shui's terrified eyes. Too slow. A thin wisp of smoke drifted from his hand, barely 1% of what Song Rui could produce. Refusing to back down, Zhang Shui pulled out a dagger and lunged at him, but Yan Hao caught his hand with just one hand, squeezing so hard that the man trembled in agony. He knocked the dagger away and grabbed him by the throat, lifting him off his feet. Didn't you just say you wanted to make Captain Gu kneel? Zhang Shui's whole body shook, but he still tried to yell, What? What do you think you're doing? I am warning you, don't. Yan Hao tightened his grip on his throat. With a surge of raw power, he slammed him violently into the ground, shattering the pavement beneath them. And that's that. Taking the full impact of the blow, Zhang Shui blacked out instantly, foaming at the mouth. The crowd gasped in sheer disbelief. He actually dodged bullets and crushed a standard-issue pistol with his bare hands. A faint red mist drifted from his arm. His physical body, enhanced by the beast core, was far stronger than he had imagined. The thugs quickly gathered their injured comrades and fled with their tails between their legs, yelling, He is a monster, run. Yan Hao bent down and picked up the crutch. Kang Yu snapped him on the back, exclaiming, Brother Yan, you were absolute god mode just now. He turned and asked, Are you okay? Kang Yu replied, I am fine, I can take a beating. Jia Jun then reached out and took the crutch. I'm heavy, Gim Hao, thank you. He replies, No need to thank me, Captain, you always had my back in the past. Now that I'm standing up to protect you, isn't it only right? The former captain says hesitantly. But what if the city defense force comes looking for trouble with you? At this moment, Kong Vu reassures him. Don't worry, Captain. He turns to Gim Hao. Right now, Gim Hao and I are with the special forces. The city defense force won't dare touch us. The scene shifts to the temporary base of the special forces in Shich Thach City, and Tong Nu's voice rings out. Is the handover paperwork complete? He just gives a quiet hum, and she continues, I've sent your application to headquarters. She places an approved invitation in front of him, saying, Headquarters has approved it. Yan Hao sighs in admiration. Ha, pretty efficient. A smirk plays on his lips. So, does that mean I'm an official member now? Tong Nui replies coldly, No. Don't get ahead of yourself, Yan Hao. The real trial is just getting started. She looks him dead in the eye. You need to head to the Hothan headquarters immediately to take part in the selection trial for the Shich Huyet combat unit of the Special Forces. She encourages him, but with your strength, I'm sure passing won't be an issue for you. Yan Hao turns to leave, a confident smirk plastered on his face. Got it. Just watch me break some records. Fast forward to the next morning in Hothan, 4 military vehicles are driving side by side down the road. Tong Nui taps on a screen. This is Hothan, the capital of Sioux Nation. It's also where the headquarters of Shich Huyet is located. Sitting in the back, Yan Hao points at Kong Vu. I heard that official members of Shich Huyet must be at least Class D warriors. So, how are warrior ranks evaluated? This guy is so weak, he asks, puzzled. And he's allowed to take the Shich Huyet exam too? He scratches his neck. Hey, I can take a beating, you know, she explains. He's joining the logistics support team, not combat, so he doesn't need to take the combat evaluation. Kong Vu smiles, putting his hand on Yan Hao's shoulder and bragging. The support team goes to battle with you guys too, you know? You'll be relying on me out there. Yan Hao, since we have some time right now, let's catch you up on the details. Tong Nui explains the information in detail. People like me who can trigger special abilities are collectively called warriors. Warriors are divided into 6 combat ranks: S, A, B, C, D, and E. The Special Response Force headquarters has a specialized evaluation system, and the most basic metrics are physical constitution and fitness. She continues, as for mutated beasts, they range from weakest to strongest in 5 ranks: Scout, Beast, Overlord, Colossus, and Calamity. Generally, an E-class warrior can defeat a Scout-class beast. Similarly, a class warrior can defeat an Overlord-class beast. A and B-class warriors can handle Colossus-class beasts, while S-class warriors can take on Calamity-class beasts. Yan Hao listens intently as she adds, in addition, your compatibility with beast cores also affects your rank. He asks, puzzled, beast core compatibility? Tong Nui nods. Yes. In this current apocalypse, only the beasts mutated by the red fog possess special abilities. Human warriors can only rely on beast core armament to adapt to the cores and trigger their own abilities. She turns around. Physical constitution, talent, luck, they all affect your beast core compatibility. The higher your compatibility, the stronger and more numerous the abilities you can trigger. If you can't adapt to a beast core, the highest rank you can ever reach is E-class. Right then, with a sharp screech of brakes, the car carrying 3 people comes to a halt. A soldier raises his hand. Apologies, but this road is currently closed to traffic. Please take a detour. She speaks up, her voice tinged with a threat. You dare block the Special Response Force? But they still stand their ground. We are also on official duty. There is really no other way. Just then, a car drives by, and a mysterious figure inside catches her eye. Tong Nui thinks to herself, the recruitment exam for Shich Huyet. Why would a big shot from the Luke Dang Corporation be here? Something is off. 1 hour later, at the Shich Huyet exam venue, 40 people are lined up, with 3 examiners sitting at the front. Shich Huyet is humanity's strongest shield and the sharpest blade of the Special Response Force. The speaker is Lam Dung Tin, the chief examiner of Shich Huyet, an A-class warrior. His voice is powerful. I don't care what your background is. Now that you're here, you play by our rules. His voice echoes across the field. Pulling strings is absolutely forbidden here. No matter who you are, if you don't have real talent, don't even dream of staying in Shich Huyet. With that, Dung Tin waves his hand. The first event, the physical test, begins now. A 100-meter sprint while carrying 50 kilograms. Yan Hao bursts forward, leading the pack while carrying the heavy load. Under the gravity pressure machine, everyone else grits their teeth, straining to lift 100 kilograms, while he effortlessly lifts 500 kilograms with just one hand, as if it were a wooden log. The person next to him gasps, 500 kilograms with one hand? During the punch force test, he simply stands there and delivers a casual jab. The machine instantly shatters. He walks away under everyone's stunned gazes as the announcement plays. Punch force machine broken. Calculation failed. 10 minutes later, Yan Hao stands before Deng Tin and reports, Chief Examiner, all tasks are completed. He looks down at the tablet in his hand, confirming the completion. Total score, 198 points. Hearing that score, everyone is completely shell-shocked. 198 points. The previous record for a recruit was only 140 points. Did this kid cheat? He's dead meat. Right then, a man stepped forward. It was Coach Lam, speaking in a loud, commanding voice. The highest record for a rookie joining the squad is 140 points. He couldn't believe the score being announced. It blew the old record completely out of the water. He's Truong Tan, the younger brother of the Shichthok City Defense Force captain. I don't buy it. Deng Tin shot a sideways glance at Truong Tan. I personally supervised this test, and we have security cameras running. Are you accusing me of pulling strings for him? A smirk played on his lips. No way, I wouldn't dare. I was just curious, that's all. Truong Tan brushed past Yan Hao. So, you're Yan Hao from the Zichthok patrol? He replied coldly. What of it? A sly grin crept onto the guy's face. Nothing, just saying hi. After all, we're hometown boys. Just you wait, kid. A murderous look flashed in his eyes. Whatever my brother suffered, I'll make damn sure you pay for it twice over. She watched him walk away, murmuring in confusion. Hometown boys? Deng Tin read his file. His name is Truong Tan, the young master of the Shichthok City Defense Force. Do you guys know him? He said he didn't know him, but he had already recognized the guy. The Shichthok City Defense Force. So that's how it is. Those bastards in the defense force are rotten to the core. He then went on to announce everyone's scores and rankings one by one. Here are the results for the physical test. 30th place, Truong Tam, 89 points, 29th. And in third place, Truong Tan, with 123 points. Second place, Kim Oan, 135 points. And in first place, he emphasized Yan Hao's score, Yan Hao, with 198 points. The orange-haired girl looked at him with keen interest. I only planned on taking this test for fun. I didn't expect to find such a powerful rookie this year. How interesting. I definitely need to study him closely. This was Kim Oan, a senior researcher from the Technical Intelligence Bureau. His voice rang out, the top 15 on the list, stay behind for the next phase of the exam. Truong Tan sat alone in his dorm room, brooding. He should have easily taken first place. He grumbled. Who would have thought two absolute monsters would show up out of nowhere? Right then, a voice spoke from the tablet resting on his desk. If your brother hadn't been Luke Dang's lapdog, do you think you'd even be qualified to sit for this exam? On the screen, two towering men radiating an overwhelming aura said, You only have one shot. Make it count. His face darkened. For my brother's sake, I must get into Shichuyet. Everyone gathered in front of the beast core testing machine, their expressions grim. Deng Tin raised the bracelet on his wrist. This test is pretty straightforward. You just need to wear this bracelet. Saying this, he tapped the bracelet and continued, then, insert the beast core into this wrist guard to run the test. Anyone with a beast core compatibility rate below 40% will be disqualified immediately. In case anyone is still unclear, let me briefly explain what a beast core is, Deng Tin said, gesturing toward the beast core quality chart. First of all, they can only be produced by beasts above the Hound class. The stronger the monster, the higher the quality of the core it produces. By slotting it in, warriors can wield special abilities just like mutated beasts. And everyone's compatibility with the beast core varies. And depending on your compatibility, it will awaken different elemental or physical talents within your body, Deng Tin continued. This wrist guard is the lowest tier. It's only meant to test your compatibility and won't grant you any special abilities. Once you officially join the combat unit of the Special Response Team, we will provide you with better beast cores and beast-derived gear. He announced confidently, the beast core compatibility test starts now. Step up one by one. The first candidate. Compatibility rate, 39%. He cried out, I ranked 5th in the physical test. Why is this exam harder than actually killing beasts? The next candidate. Compatibility rate, 56%. He cheered, I passed. I can join Shichuyet now. Deng Tin turned to Truong Tan. Your turn. Truong Tan turned around, his eyes bloodshot as he let out a cold snort. He picked up the beast core, his face a mix of anxiety and fear. He pressed the core firmly into the bracelet on his wrist. His eyes were bloodshot, his voice dripping with determination. You'd better work for me. The screen lit up with white text on a red background. 60% compatibility rate. Everyone stared at Truong Tan in shock. The best of the new batch was only at 56%. Doesn't that make him the strongest rookie this year? With a triumphant look, Truong Tan smirked. You bunch of losers. I am the strongest one here. Then he stepped down amidst the cheers and laughter of the crowd. Kim O-won eagerly asked Yan Hao, "Are you really from Shichthak City? How come I've never heard of someone as strong as you before?" She continued, "I'm supposed to be the know-it-all of the Technical Intelligence Bureau, yet somehow you managed to slip right under my radar. You're definitely not ordinary," she babbled on. "The abnormal fluctuation of the red mist concentration in Shichthak City a few days ago might actually have something to do with you." Yan Hao played dumb. "What are you talking about? I don't have a clue what you mean." She replied, "It doesn't matter if you won't admit it. All you need to know is that I've taken a huge interest in you." "Great." Now Yan Hao was speechless. Teasingly, he replied, "Well, since you're Miss Know-It-All, do you think I could ask you to look into some info for me?" Kim O-won gave a playful wink. "Sure, but on one condition." She pointed toward the compatibility tester. "As long as your score beats mine, I'll tell you whatever you want to know," she said, excitedly emphasizing, "Absolutely anything." Then Kim O-won happily ran over, calling out, "All right, here I go." Raising her wristband-wearing hand high, she shouted, "Watch closely, everyone. This lady is about to smash Truong Tan's record." Yan Hao felt pretty anxious, wondering if she was really that strong. Beside him, Truong Tan stood with a contemptuous smirk, acting like it was all a joke. She confidently picked up the beast core, a happy smile spreading across her face. She flipped the beast core in her hand as if she were just playing with a regular pebble. She tapped the beast core against her wristband, shouting, "Watch closely." In an instant, the crowd gasped in unison. D rank warrior, 78% compatibility? That's impossible. A score like this is completely unheard of. Is there something wrong with the machine? She flashed a satisfied, triumphant smile. She gave a thumbs up to show off her amazing performance. Then, she ran back to Yan Hao and boasted, "See? I told you I'd break Truong Tan's record." Truong Tan stammered. Feeling absolute rage boiling inside him, he thought. Aside from Yan Hao, there's no way I'm letting this airhead off the hook either. The final participant was Yan Hao. Looking worried, he thought about her incredible strength and realized she probably wasn't lying. She really did know a lot of things. Standing beside him, Kim O-won teased, "Well, feeling the pressure yet?" Yan Hao knew that to get clues about Tu Tuyet, he absolutely had to win this bet. He boldly declared, "Keep your eyes peeled." Looking at the beast core, Yan Hao pondered. According to what Tong Yi said, his strength as a warrior should be at least C rank. This beast core is of the exact same quality as the one I absorbed before. They're both pitch black, he thought, a confident smile spreading across his face. So what will my compatibility be? Raising his hand, he thought, let's find out just how much potential I really have. On the display screen, a glaring red C rank flashed brightly. Everyone stood frozen, their jaws dropping in absolute shock. A C rank, only squad leaders can reach that level. Suddenly, the system's voice blared. System error. Beast core compatibility scan result is. Holding their breath, the crowd murmured anxiously. What about his compatibility? What's going on? The system's voice continued. 0%. Yan Hao's eyes widened, absolute disbelief written all over his face. At that moment, Truong Tan burst into a smug laugh. What a useless piece of trash. That big talk was hilarious, but even the beast core rejects you. Yan Hao remained calm, though his expression darkened. As he slightly raised one hand, he suddenly sensed that something was seriously wrong. Seeing the beast core in his hand start to crack, Yan Hao thought, this is bad. One of his eyes flashed with light. Is my body trying to devour this beast core? At the exact same time, Kim O-won rushed over to the control panel and gasped. 0% compatibility? That's unheard of. Even the worst score is at least 1%. I have to log this. The old man is going to be absolutely thrilled. Truong Tan sneered internally. Wait, what about that kid's beast core? Turning to Dung Tin, he quickly snitched. Instructor Lam, Yan Hao stole the beast core. It completely vanished from his hand. Hearing this, Dung Tin bellowed in fury. Yan Hao, raise your hands. Let me see your wristband and the beast core. But by now, there was absolutely nothing left in his hand. Dung Tin demanded, where is your beast core? Helplessly raising his hands, Yan Hao quickly tried to explain. I honestly don't know what's going on either. This is a really tight spot. I have to make up an excuse fast, or they'll turn me into a lab rat. Suddenly, massive waves of energy began surging from Yan Hao's hand. He thought to himself, I have to take a gamble. I'll make this look like a beast transformation triggered by the core. Right at that moment, the surging energy began to condense. It formed a demonic hand right over Yan Hao's arm. Confused, Truong Tan muttered, What on earth is that thing? Deng Tin grabbed his weapon, rushed forward, and ordered, On guard, everyone fall back. Witnessing the scene, Kim Oan looked utterly amazed and burst into laughter. Could this be beast transformation? Truong Tan gasped in surprise. Beast transformation? Deng Tin stood frozen in utter astonishment. Is this kid infected? Back away, everyone. We have no choice but to take him down right here. Flustered, she called out loudly, Hey Yan Hao, can you hear me? Hearing her, he looked back in surprise. What is it? Watching them talk, Deng Tin asked in shock, You haven't lost your mind? At the same time, the energy was flowing directly into Yan Hao's hand. It seemed the power of the beast core was integrating into him on its own. So that's how it is. Kim Oan ran over, grabbed his arm, and shouted, He hasn't lost control. This is a transformation ability. Oh my god, this is a first-time discovery. As the onlookers began to chatter excitedly, Deng Tin's expression completely shifted. This is a massive jackpot. A beast transformation that can be controlled without losing sanity? That's unheard of. This has to be an incredibly rare special ability. Turning to her in surprise, Yan Hao asked, Who on earth are you? How do you know so much? Kim Oan replied, I told you, I'm Miss Know-It-All. Placing his hand on her head, Deng Tin added, Her name is Kim Oan. This batch's candidate for Crimson. She's a member of Crimson Blood, and also a senior researcher at the Tech Intelligence Bureau. Her dad, Major General Kim On-Than, is in charge of the entire tech research lab. Kim Oan shrieked in shock. Instructor Lam, how could you spill my secret? You completely ruined my mysterious vibe. Then, he reached out his hand and said, All right, that's enough of this comedy act. Yan Hao, hand over the beast core. Hearing this, he scratched his head helplessly. Well, Instructor Lam, it's not that I don't want to hand it over. Yan Hao pointed to his wrist. This thing is literally fused to me. It refuses to come out. After that, they chatted for quite a while. Watching them, Truong Tan felt irritated and thought the beast core really crawled into his body. He clutched his head, thinking, I need to report this to the Lukdang people immediately. This guy is the perfect test subject. A little later, inside the radiation lab, he was lying inside a scanning machine for a full-body checkup. The technicians whispered among themselves, I've never heard of a beast core growing on a human body before. Besides, the beast core seems to have completely fused with his body. It won't be easy to extract. Just then, An-Than and Kim Oan walked in. The technician got a bit nervous and asked, Director Kim, what do you think? He stroked his chin with a smirk. Fascinating. There are definitely a lot of secrets hidden inside this guy. Deng Tin was also there, and he asked, Director Kim, what's the verdict? Who exactly is this kid? He replied, Are you guys in Crimson Blood still strictly following that rule about rejecting anyone with a compatibility rate under 40%? Tong Liam chimed in, Stop beating around the bush, old Kim. Just tell us what's going on. He answered, My team co-developed this scanner with Luke Dang, so I know it better than anyone. It didn't malfunction. Behind him, Kim Oan whined, Dad, just spill it. I'm dying of curiosity here. What's up with him? And Than's face darkened. The readings broke the scale. His compatibility is completely unprecedented. It went way past our theoretical maximum of 100%. Hearing that, he immediately turned around. Deng Tin, with me, now. He quickly replied, Yes, sir. He thought to himself, the crystal core is turning from black to red. Is it because it absorbed that small beast core? Before, absorbing the core of that Overlord class insect let me steal its ability and even activated the crystal core inside my body. This time, even though absorbing a low-tier core didn't give me a new skill, it definitely boosted my crystal core. Its purity has gone up, glowing a brilliant red, which means my red mist efficiency and total capacity have increased. In other words, the stronger the beast I absorb, the more powerful I'll become. From that old, rusty, speckled reddish-brown, as long as I keep stealing from mutant beasts, I can achieve infinite evolution. At the Special Ops headquarters, the towering Crimson Blood main building radiated an intense, imposing aura. Tong Nui questioned Tong Liam loudly. I'm the one who brought Yan Hao here, so what's wrong with having him join my squad? He replied sternly, Lieutenant Tong Nui, Watch your tone and remember your rank. Besides, aren't you a little too invested in this C-rank rookie? She pleaded. Dad, I promised him a spot on my team. You can't make me break my word as a soldier. Tong Liam walked away coldly. A soldier's honor is dedicated to their country, not to personal promises. Yan Hao has already been assigned to Deng Tin's squad, and that's final. As a Crimson Blood squad leader, are you really going to fight him over a recruit? Return to your post. That is an order. Tong Nui reluctantly acknowledged the order, but her mind was already racing. I'll just have to find another way. Over at the Crimson Blood barracks, someone burst into the lounge shouting, Yan Hao! Yan Hao! Big news! Kim O-wan ran up to Yan Hao excitedly. A new monster nest was just found between Ho Than and Redstone City, and they're sending Crimson Blood rookies to explore it. I already asked Instructor Lam to put us in a squad together. C-rank, Yan Hao. Crimson Blood Special Ops. Member of Lam Deng Tin's team. He looked surprised. Huh? Right after, Deng Tin briefed the two of them on their mission details. Your objective is to scout the area and assess the threat level. Stay alert at all times. Even though it's a low-tier monster nest, things can mutate unexpectedly. D-rank Kim O-wan, senior researcher at the Crimson Blood Tech Intelligence Bureau, member of Lam Deng Tin's squad. She said to Yan Hao confidently, Data collection is my specialty. Don't worry, I've got your back. Not long after, they boarded a vehicle and headed out on their mission, Kim O-wan explained. Monster nest threat levels are divided into 4 tiers. Low, medium, high, and extreme. There are also many different types of nests. The low-tier nest we're heading to is a hive type. It has a simple layout but a highly complex network of tunnels inside. The worst part is the colony of ground wasps, featuring a massive swarm of workers and a few soldier wasps. He wondered, can't a single person handle a wasp nest? Why did we need 3 whole trucks of people? She replied knowingly, Thiet Fong aren't just tiny honeybees, you know. Before Kim O-wan could finish her sentence, the driver cut her off. Looks like there's something up ahead. Hearing this, Yan Hao immediately looked out the window to scan the area. Wait, what? Is that wasp really that huge? She snapped back. I told you, it's a baboon-class iron wasp, not some honeybee, and that nameless guy driving used to be a low-ranking patrolman, now serving in the special support unit. He quickly swerved the vehicle to dodge the swarm. Hang on tight, everyone. The swarm fired dozens of stingers at the vehicle all at once. Kim Owen cried out in panic. Oh no! This is the Iron Wasp's stinger barrage. Our armored vehicle won't hold. Yan Hao immediately stepped up. Leave the swarm outside to me. This is the perfect chance to test my new move. The vehicle was now taking a relentless beating from thousands of the swarm's stingers. Yan Hao quickly melted the vehicle's door and leaped outside. Find some cover and defend yourselves. I'll be right back. Yan Hao fiercely swung his arms, clashing with the aggressive swarm. The driver gasped in shock. What kind of power is that? Turning a door into a weapon? She smirked and explained. It's his transformation ability. During his assessment, he absorbed a beast core. I originally thought he could only transform his own body. Who would have thought he could also apply this transformation ability to external objects? He can literally turn anything into a weapon. This is absolutely brilliant. I need to record his combat data so I can study it thoroughly later. Outside, while he was fighting, a deep blue projectile suddenly shot out of nowhere, flying straight at him. It pierced right through the armor, covering Yan Hao's arm. Blue? What on earth is that? This thing is even stronger than the Iron Wasp's stingers. It can pierce my defenses. I have to find out where it's coming from, or I'll get worn down to death sooner or later. He immediately shouted a warning. There's another enemy. Attack source unknown. Kim O-wan. Watch out and find some cover. Kim O-wan and the driver quickly scrambled out of the vehicle. She yelled, Hide behind that boulder over there. A man in protective gear holding a flamethrower ran out of another vehicle, shouting, Iron Wasps are afraid of fire. Kim Owen screamed, Don't go out. But it was too late. The second he stepped out from behind the boulder, he got hit. The blue stinger pierced right through his fuel tank, triggering an explosion that instantly swallowed him up. Fending off the swarm, Yan Hao called out, Kim O-wan, where are those blue spikes coming from? She quickly checked her tablet and replied, It's a Hound-class queen wasp. Its stinger is venomous and can corrode C-rank armor and below. Wait, a Hound class? Our intel was wrong. This is definitely not a low-level nest. He said, Help me deal with these baboon-class wasps. I'm going after the queen. Kim O-wan immediately assumed a combat stance and replied, On it. Kim O-wan. D. Rank elemental type, basic ability, wind manipulation. She raised her hands, preparing to unleash her power. A storm brewed as the surrounding winds grew violent. Kim On commanded, "Rise, winds!" The powerful gales pushed back the low-level iron wasps, blowing away the red mist to reveal the queen's location. Locking onto his target, he muttered, "Gotcha." She looked far more powerful and menacing than any ordinary wasp. Yan Hao used his power to twist his previous shield into a long cylinder, shaping it into a sharp spear. This shape will do. Yan Hao stomped his foot hard to build momentum, cracking the ground beneath him. He braced himself, his eyes locked onto his target. With immense force, Yan Hao hurled the spear straight at the queen wasp. Go! A crimson surge of energy shot straight at the iron wasp, piercing clean through its body. It roared in agony. Bullseye! Kim On stared at the queen in disbelief. There was no way. Even after getting skewered by Yan Hao, it was acting like it was nothing. Her eyes turned cold. How could a mere Hound class have such terrifying power? She thought to herself. Could it be? She rushed toward Yan Hao and yelled, "Yan Hao, don't let it get away." She stared at the beast. It's about to evolve into an overlord. Yan Hao lay collapsed on the ground. Let it go. He was completely drained. He thought, without the red mist to replenish my energy, I should have saved some strength for the queen. Kim Owen looked down smugly at the sprawling Yan Hao. Are you acting like a dead fish to play hard to get? Don't tell me you want this young lady to give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? Yan Hao teased. I'm not interested in kids. Kim Owen huffed. Who are you calling a kid? But she still playfully held a candy bar in front of his face. Eat this first and rest up. Yan Hao hesitated. Actually, being out of energy isn't because I'm hungry. Jia Tuan rushed over to them and called out, Yan Hao, are you guys okay? Yan Hao replied, We're fine. Let's clean up the battlefield and set up a temporary post. This needs to be reported immediately. Kim Oan smirked playfully. Oh, I reported it ages ago. Everyone turned their eyes toward a rising mound of dirt. Checking her detector, Kim Owen said, The red mist concentration inside the base is still in the low range. We can head in wearing protective suits. Yan Hao asked with concern, We aren't waiting for backup? Kim Oan argued. That injured queen is our best chance to gather data and finish her off. Besides, the threat level of this base has risen to medium-high. She added, If we succeed, it'll count as an over-tier achievement. Completing this mission brings massive rewards. Inside the Chief of Staff's office at the Special Ops headquarters, Tong Liam stood with his back turned to Deng Tin. Right now, the higher-ups are completely divided on what to do. While we want to groom him into a top-tier combat asset, a bunch of mad scientists are pushing to turn him into a lab rat. Tong Liam's eyes sharpened. Yan Hao is special. Keep a close eye on him. Deng Tin's face darkened as he checked a notification. Seeing this, Tong Liam ordered, Answer it, quick. Yes, sir, Deng Tin replied. He answered, and immediately roared in fury. What did you say? The threat level of the pillar Yan Hao and his team are exploring is spiking from low to critical, and they're already inside? Deng Tin's face twisted in frustration. This is absolute madness. Tong Liam chimed in. Little Kim Oan might seem reckless, but she's actually very calculated. She wouldn't take a risk like this. Something is off here. Sensing danger, he quickly issued an order. Deploy the nearest Crimson Blood squad immediately. Have Tong Yi lead the rescue team. Their primary objective is to secure Kim Oan and Yan Hao. Just then, the adjutant rushed into the room to report. Deng Tin gasped, shocked to see him there. Tong Liam raised an eyebrow. Weren't you just admitted to the hospital? Deng Tin nodded in agreement. Tong Liam commanded, Adjutant Lam, report to Lieutenant Tong Yi immediately and assume your post as his second in command. That is an order. The adjutant saluted sharply. Yes, sir. Deng Tin sighed, a look of defeat on his face. Aruinari all along. Tong Liam waved his hand dismissively, signaling him to get moving. Watching them leave, Tong Liam thought, My son, I don't know why you're so invested in Yan Hao, but this is the most I can do for you right now. Meanwhile, Yan Hao and Kim Owen pushed forward. Yan Hao thought to himself, Only the two of us have the specialized hazard suits to survive this red mist. I just hope everything goes smoothly. Kim Owen checked her device. The energy readings are barely fluctuating. She found it strange, but she knew that if that wasp queen evolved to an overlord level, conquering this pillar would become near impossible. Suddenly, Yan Hao grabbed her arm. Stop! Right before them, a swarm of massive iron wasps emerged, their terrifying presence casting a suffocating dread. Terror struck them both. Damn it. It's a mutated ironclad poison sting wasp queen. Look at that size and the stinger on its tail. It's definitely an Overlord level. Kim Oh-an trembled in fear. It actually completed its evolution. She thought to herself, but how is this possible? The red mist concentration here is way too low to trigger a rapid evolution like this. And it's not just her. Even the servant class poison sting wasps are getting buffed. Panic seized her. Wait, the red mist levels must have spiked past the danger zone ages ago. Why didn't our analyzer go off? Seeing Kim Oh-an collapse onto the ground, Yan Hao yelled, "Kim Oh-an!" Gasping for breath, she wheezed. Our suits. They've been tampered with. The filtration is failing. There's a mole in crimson blood. Suddenly, a deafening screech echoed from the dark hollows of the cave. Yan Hao grabbed Kim Oh-an's hand and bellowed, "We need to pull back now." Yet, a smirk played on his lips. He thought, I was just wondering where I'd get some red mist energy, and you beasts served yourselves right up. But first, I need to get Kim Oh-an to safety. Fighting on this open ground with her exposed is too risky. With a powerful kick, he shattered a nearby boulder to create a makeshift alcove. Hide in here, he told her. It's secluded and has decent airflow. You can hold out here for a bit. He added, Kim Oh-an, call headquarters immediately. Tell the backup squad to bring extra hazmat suits, and I'll buy us some time. Kim Oh-an nodded, reclaiming her confidence. Leave it to me. I'll feed them the real-time data from the pillar and keep them updated on our situation. As Yan Hao turned to face the swarm, she called out, Hey, Yan Hao! He looked back to see her giving him a cheeky smirk. If you don't make it back alive, I'll haunt you even from the depths of hell. Yan Hao gave her a reassuring grin. Don't worry, I'm definitely coming back. He marched confidently toward the oncoming iron wasps, his resolve hardening. I finally have the power to protect the people I care about. This time, I won't break my promise like I did with Little Shu. He roared at the swarm, Come at me, I will not fail. But as the vicious iron wasps closed in, Yan Hao found himself completely surrounded and pushed to the brink. He channeled every ounce of his energy. To unleash the power of the Overlord class carapace, my remaining red mist energy is only enough for one single shot. I cannot miss. Drawing his arm back, he took a deep breath. Focus, I need to condense it first. Unleashing his ultimate strike, Crimson Implosion, the energy violently erupted. The sheer force of the blast turned the entire cavern into a raging sea of crimson. The devastating beam shot forward, tearing right through the mutated beasts. As the thick haze slowly drifted away, Yan Hao muttered, Did I get them? But then, thin wisps of vapor began rising from beneath his feet. He immediately recognized it. It was the red mist. And out of the crimson fog, countless glowing eyes of the iron wasps locked onto him once more. Yan Hao's face fell. You've got to be kidding me. Meanwhile, 3 minutes ago, Kim Oh-an was frantically checking her gear. I knew it. Someone definitely messed with the analyzer. All right, it should be reading the red mist levels correctly now. Suddenly, the device screeched. Warning, warning. The red mist density was off the charts. She gritted her teeth in sheer terror. Why is it this high? It's already twice the danger threshold. Before she could process the shock, a violent gust of wind whipped toward her, forcing her to shield her face. Through her fingers, Kim Oh-an caught a sudden glimpse of light. Wait, did the outside just blow up through that crack? Oh no, the crimson cluster is making the red mist even denser. By absorbing this highly concentrated red mist, these wasps have evolved rapidly. Even the lowest-ranking scouts have mutated into Hound-class beasts. Right now, the iron wasps are turning their claws on Yan Hao. He starts to panic. The more he fights, the more of them appear, and they're only getting stronger. Even with all this red mist around, I can't regenerate energy fast enough to keep up with what I'm burning through. Yan Hao struggles to hold his ground. If this keeps up, he'll be completely drained. Jin Ying watches from the sidelines, her heart racing. Can Yan Hao actually survive this? Wait, look at his neck. Those are symptoms of red mist corruption. Someone must have messed with his protective suit. She raises her scanner to check the toxicity levels. Jin Ying gasps in shock. The numbers are still climbing. He's about to lose control. I need to clear the red mist around Yan Hao first. She channels her power, unleashing her wind pressure blast. In an instant, Jin Ying's gale blows away the red mist surrounding him. Giving a thumbs up, she knows this is the perfect moment. Finally, Jin Ying curls her fingers into a fist and yells, Detonate! A massive explosion erupts instantly, leaving Yan Hao standing in the middle, completely dazed. Terrified, he curses under his breath. Shaking and pale, Yan Hao thinks, Who the hell blew away the red mist? My power just got cut off. With glowing red eyes, the frenzied swarm of iron wasps starts firing a barrage of razor-sharp stingers right at him. Yan Hao crosses his arms to shield himself. As he blocks, he quickly realizes that the venom on their stingers acts as a paralytic. But right at that moment, more stingers rain down on him from behind. Yan Hao's eyes go wide with dread. Oh no, I can't dodge in time. But in the nick of time, Yongji charges in, cloaked in a blinding light. He uses his back to shield Yan Hao from the incoming attacks. Yan Hao looks up at his savior and gasps in shock. Lieutenant Lin Yongji grits his teeth, struggling to speak. The battle isn't over yet, stay focused. Just as the two of them are surrounded by the iron wasps, magic blasts suddenly streak through the air. It's Song Rui. She's arrived with reinforcements. Confused, he asks, Captain Song, what are you guys doing here? Resting her rifle on her shoulder, she replies, We received orders from headquarters to back you guys up. Song Rui commands, All units, charge, wipe out these pests. Everyone rushes forward, shouting in unison, Yes, ma'am. A chaotic battle erupts amidst raging flames as everyone follows Song Rui's commands. Team A, use high heat to suppress the path ahead. Team B, lay down covering fire in the middle. Lieutenant Lin, fall back with Yan Hao to rest and regroup. The lieutenant and Yan Hao obey Song Rui's orders and retreat. Understood, Captain Song. At that exact moment, the Overlord-class Queen Wasp arches her sharp stinger, preparing to strike. A crimson energy beam shoots toward them, leaving the flamethrower soldiers in shock. What the hell is that? It's too fast. The attack heads straight for the lieutenant. Seeing this, a soldier screams, Lieutenant Lin, watch out! Beside him, Song Rui calmly aims her rifle, locking onto the target. She barks, Don't look back! Keep running! She thinks, An Overlord class? Guess I have no choice but to use that. After charging her weapon to maximum capacity, she unleashes her ultimate skill. Electromagnetic annihilation. The high-voltage electromagnetic field generated by this attack will destroy and paralyze anything in its path. The electromagnetic annihilation instantly deflects the wasp's attack and slams directly into its body. The surrounding soldiers cheer. Look, Captain Song's attack hit something. Wait, look at that size. That's the Overlord-class Queen Wasp from the intel researcher Jin sent us. Weakened by the blast, the giant wasp takes flight to escape, crackling with leftover electricity from the attack. Song Rui speaks up. It's heading up. I paralyzed it, so it won't get very far. Clear out the swarm around us and prioritize rescuing the wounded. Everyone shouts in unison. Yes, ma'am. Witnessing her raw power, Yan Hao is utterly amazed. So, Song Rui was actually this strong? The lieutenant turns to him and explains, Well, during our last mission to Chishi City, she didn't have her main combat gear or her tactical armor on. She couldn't fight at full strength. Song Rui walks over and asks, Where's Jin Ying? He points over and replies, She's over there. Behind them, Jin Ying stands with her hands on her hips, complaining, Ice Queen Song! If you were 10 minutes later, you'd be picking up my corpse. Song Rui retorts, My dear Lady Jin, you're buying me dinner when we get back. You still owe me for the last time I saved your life. After finishing his task, a soldier walks up and reports, Captain Song, our primary objective of rescuing the wounded is complete. What's our next move? She replies, Wipe out the rest of the swarm. We need to eliminate this nest's threat once and for all. While everyone is distracted, Yan Hao slips away to the back, using the opportunity to absorb some more red mist energy. Standing in the middle of the red mist, he slowly absorbs it. Damn, that mist blast earlier wasn't enough to kill the Queen Wasp. I'll have to try again. A moment later, once he's absorbed enough, Yan Hao raises his hands, feeling the fresh energy coursing through him. Phew, fully recharged. Suddenly, he noticed the red mist shifting, gathering in one place. The rest of the squad noticed the strange movement of the mist too, and they all looked up in the same direction. The lieutenant was puzzled. The Thiat Fong had returned and was actively absorbing all of the red mist. Kim Owen shouted, It is absorbing all of the red mist from the nest. It is gritting its teeth, enduring the sheer agony of mutating. Kim Owen gasped in shock. Is it trying to evolve? No way. Did it not just reach the Overlord level? Just then, the detector in Kim Owen's hand began blaring an urgent warning. Danger! Danger! The red mist level was about to break through level 4. Staring at the thick crimson fog, she gasped, Where on earth is this red mist even coming from? Could this beast nest actually be a high-tier one? The Thiet Fong Queen bared her razor-sharp teeth and let out a piercing screech. Immediately, a swarm of worker Thiet Fong surrounded the squad to buy time for their queen to focus on evolving. Seeing this, the lieutenant reported, "Captain Tong Nui, a massive swarm of Hound-class wasps has appeared from behind." Sensing the extreme danger, Yan Hao leaped into the air and yelled, "Everyone, take out the swarm, I have a way to handle the queen." The two women called out to him, "Yan Hao." Tong Nu then barked an order, "All units, attack the swarm." "Cover Yan Hao." "Roger that," the lieutenant replied. Determined, Yan Hao zigzagged, leaping from wall to wall as he charged the Thiet Fong Queen. He had to put her down for good, or they would all die here. Mutating his arm, he slashed at her with sharp claws. But it did not do any damage. He realized claws alone would not cut it. Unleashing his crimson condensation blast, he landed a direct hit right on her. He landed back on the ground just as an earth-shattering explosion ripped through the air. Yan Hao stared intensely through the thick white smoke. Did it work? Suddenly, a lightning-fast attack shot down through the haze. It aimed straight for him, but he managed to dodge it just in time. Yan Hao analyzed the situation. Just blasting it with energy was not enough to deal a fatal blow. He needed a stronger weapon. He turned to look at the spot where the Thiet Fong's attack had landed. "Huh? The Queen's stinger?" he muttered, walking over and picking up the sharp spike. Using his beastification power, he reshaped the stinger into a sword. Stepping across the volley of spikes shot by the Thiet Fong, Yan Hao closed the distance. He sliced a flying spike clean in two, gritted his teeth, and channeled all of his remaining red mist energy into the blade. "Since you were nice enough to give me a weapon, let me return the favor." Tightening his grip, he held the sword fast. Readying his red mist slash, he delivered a devastating overhead strike that cleaved the Thiet Fong's body clean in two. Seconds later, its body exploded. Yan Hao drove the sword into the ground, completely exhausted. A glowing red core emerged from the smoke. Forcing past his fatigue, he locked his eyes on the treasure ahead. It was an Overlord-level beast core. Reaching out and grabbing it, he grinned triumphantly. "I got it." As he closed his fist and began to absorb the core, the energy inside him surged violently. "This energy is insane!" Within a blink of an eye, the core in his body was completely filled, but immediately after, waves of red energy erupted, sending him collapsing to his knees in agony. "Ugh, I cannot take it." Nearby, a sudden arc of electricity quickly wiped out the remaining wasps. The lieutenant reported, "Captain, the swarm has been cleared." Kim Owen wondered, why did they suddenly feel so much weaker? Tong Nui ordered, "Back up Yan Hao immediately," but as she turned around, she saw him lying motionless on the ground. Horrified, she screamed, "Yan Hao." As Yan Hao lay completely still on the dirt, Kim Owen rushed over to check his vitals. She reported, "His heart rate is dangerously high, and his neural signals are failing. These blood vessels on his shoulder are digging into his flesh like thorns." Yan Hao gritted his teeth, his face contorted in pain. Kim Owen continued, "He has been exposed to way too much red mist. He might lose his mind." Hearing this, Tong Nu turned to Lieutenant Lam. "Use the mobile medical pod, block his neural transmission and get him out of here." Lam replied quickly, "Understood." At the temporary camp just outside the Beast Tide, an armored vehicle rushed in. A hazmat-suited medic stepped down, helping carry him to the pod while asking Lieutenant Lam, "Brother Ngiam, what happened to him? Is he going to be okay?" The lieutenant replied quietly, "He is stable for now." Tong Nu then turned to Kim Owen and said, "Kim Owen, you are the tech expert here. I am leaving the medical pod's monitoring and calibration to you." She readily agreed, "Got it." As the pod sealed shut, a system voice announced, "Medical pod activated. Initiating anesthetic injection." Kim Owen stared at the control panel for a moment, then turned to Tong Nu. "This is only a temporary fix. We have to get him back to headquarters for real treatment immediately." Folding her arms, she replied quietly, "I know." Deep inside his consciousness, another Yan Hao appeared like a dark inner demon, wrapping its hands tightly around his throat, eyes burning with raw greed. It growled, "Hand your body over to me, and just embrace the beast." Fragments of memories flashed before him, the tears of his father, his mother, and his little sister. He thought to himself, "Is this the end? Am I actually dying? I'm sorry, Mom, Dad." Tu Tuyet. Yan Hao's body slowly drifted downward through the void. He felt like everything was over. But behind his inner demons, the warm image of his father appeared, saying, "Take good care of your sister, son." And right beside his father was his mother. She smiled gently and whispered, "Stay alive, my son. You must survive." The monster pinned him down, smiling with smug triumph. But then, a soft, loving voice echoed, "Promise me, brother, you have to come back home safe and sound." The beast clawed at his neck, trying to choke the life out of him. But deep inside, Yan Hao's will to live began to flare up. Teo Tuyet was still waiting for him. The faces of his comrades flashed before his eyes, along with their warm words of encouragement. "Yan Hao, you are a warrior. The battle isn't over yet. Focus, big brother Nyam, you can definitely do this." And then came Kim Oan's slightly cocky voice. "I don't give you permission to give up like this, Yan Hao. Wake up right now." His eyes snapped open. He told himself, "Everyone is waiting for me. No, it's not over yet. I have to live." Chains tightly bound the creature's limbs, dragging it away into the darkness. Driven by sheer willpower, he thought, "I must find Teo Tuyet. I want to protect everyone I care about. I can't fall here. This isn't just my responsibility anymore." Yan Hao pointed straight at himself and declared, "It is your responsibility too." Crimson light surged toward him one by one as a voice whispered in his mind, "Let's go back. Everyone is waiting for us." Yan Hao let out a soft chuckle, his eyes glowing red as he stared at the stone. Paying the price. Is this really the cost of gaining power? Every single breakthrough feels like dancing on the edge of the abyss. But then, he suddenly realized, wait, something's wrong. Why can't I open my eyes? He couldn't move his body at all. Meanwhile, outside, a convoy was struggling through a blinding sandstorm, unable to see even a few feet ahead. A rescue worker reported, "The sandstorm is too intense. I can't see the road at all. Keeping this up is suicide." The adjutant checked his computer and said, "Captain Tong, there's an ancient city ruin about 3 kilometers from here. We should head there for shelter." While the driver focused on navigating the storm, in the back seat, Tong Nu asked, "Kim Oan, how is Yan Hao doing?" Gluing her eyes to the screen, she replied, "His vitals have temporarily stabilized, but he still hasn't regained consciousness." She turned and ordered, "Adjutant Lam, lead us into the ruins and tell the backup vehicles to follow." One by one, the convoy entered the ancient ruins, where thick fog rolled and the wind howled. Within moments, they made it inside. Tong Nui called out, "Everyone, step out and take a break." She stepped down, warily scanning their surroundings. Tong Nui lowered her voice and said, "Kim Oan, something feels off here. Scan the environment immediately. Check the structural stability, red fog density, and any heat signatures." She nodded and replied, "On it." She then ordered her squad, "Keep a tight guard on him. Protecting him is headquarters' absolute top priority." Her subordinates firmly replied, "Yes, ma'am." At that very moment, masked figures on the upper floors of the ruins set their plan in motion. A barrage of glowing green arrows rained down, catching everyone off guard. Deng Qi's expression shifted. Deflecting the incoming projectiles, he screamed, "Ambush! Find cover, now!" The arrows hissed through the air, and the moment they struck the armored plating of the vehicles, the metal began to corrode. Taking cover behind a vehicle, Kim Oan cried out in terror, "Watch out! Those arrows are coated in venomous wasp fluid." Suddenly, a massive boulder came crashing down. Tong Nui bellowed, "Scatter!" With a powerful kick, she launched the medical pod holding Yan Hao out of harm's way, narrowly saving him from being crushed. She then leaped backward, landing gracefully just as the giant rock slammed into the ground. Shrapnel and small stones exploded outward, flying straight toward Kim Oan. Deng Qi dashed forward, hardening his body to shield her from the debris. He grunted, warning her to watch out for falling debris. Shrouded in the thick fog, the attackers moved like ghosts, completely surrounding the building. Each of them held a strange bottle in their hands. From below, Tong Nui barked out an order, "Don't let them escape. Take them all down." The attackers burst into wicked laughter. One of them yelled, "How about you taste this first?" With that, they hurled the flasks down. The moment the bottles hit the ground, they shattered, releasing a thick, toxic green gas. She muttered in panic, "What is this?" As the mist spread rapidly, Tong Nui covered her nose and warned, "Damn it, this is fluid from an Overlord-class beast. This gas will paralyze us." Seeing their chance, the bandits swarmed down from the rafters, chanting, "Kill them all." A giant named Hak Dao charged at Tong Nui, swinging a massive axe. He roared, "Hey girl, hand over all your shiny toys." Without wasting a breath, she delivered a swift, brutal kick right between his legs. Her voice dripped with pure disgust. "Get the hell off me!" Her powerful kick sent the giant flying several meters back. But before she could follow up, a chain shot out of the shadows, hooking onto the medical pod where Yan Hao was still recovering. Tongnu tried to move, but her limbs gave out and she collapsed to the ground. She cursed under her breath. "Damn it, the paralysis is kicking in." The attackers cheered in triumph. "We got it. Pull it up. Hurry. These guys are risking their lives to protect this metal box. There's definitely some valuable treasure inside." Kim Owen. With a worried look, she rushed toward the cabin and shouted, "Don't touch him." A cold arrow suddenly pierced straight through her ankle, making Kim Owen collapse in agonizing pain. Her voice trembled as she called out to Yan Hao, helplessly watching them drag him away. Inside, Yan Hao was lying as still as if he were asleep, with red lines wrapping all around his body. By now, Kim Owen's face was pale with pain as she stammered, "We have to save Yan Hao, quickly." Tong Yi knelt down and grabbed the arrow still lodged in Kim Owen's leg, trying to comfort her. "Bear with me for a second, and try not to talk." But in her mind, she could not help but think, not only did they let Yan Hao get captured, but now even Kim Owen was injured. What kind of pathetic failure was this? Gritting her teeth, she decisively snapped off the tip of the arrow in her leg. Once she was done, Tong Yi warned her, "This is the best I can do for now, so do not move around." Kim Owen sat up, holding back the pain, and asked in confusion, "The bandits were already waiting in ambush before we even got here. That is so weird. How could they have known our every move?" Just then, Deng Qi rushed in to report, "Captain Tong, the area has been cleared, but most of the refugees and bandits used the distraction while we were poisoned to escape." Tong Yi frowned, thinking, with such a violent sandstorm outside, there is no way they could move Yan Hao across the surface. They must have taken him underground. He quickly added, "We found an abandoned elevator shaft. According to our preliminary search, it seems to lead straight to their hideout." Hearing this, she immediately ordered, "Assemble at once. Our next mission is human combat, and our goal is to get Yan Hao back. Team A, block the exits and keep Kim Owen safe. Fo, Quan Lam, and Team B, follow me downstairs." She laid down the ultimate rule. Failure is not an option. Everyone shouted in unison, "Understood." Suddenly, a frantic voice called out from behind, "Captain Tong, please let me come with you." She turned around and said firmly, "Absolutely not. You are not a combatant, and we have no idea what is waiting for us down there. You and Kim Owen will stay with Team A. They will keep you safe." Kong Vu frowned and shouted, "Yan Hao is my best friend. He saved my life before. Now that he is in danger, how can I just sit here and do nothing?" Tong Yi paused for a moment before nodding. "Fine, but you stay right behind me. Do not wander off." He happily complied. "Yes, ma'am." Meanwhile, in another part of the ruins, a few bandits were whispering as they stood in front of the cabin. "Man, this iron coffin is ridiculously heavy. What the hell is even inside this thing? Who cares? If it was locked inside an armored vehicle, it has to be something valuable." Hakfong walked over with an axe and snarled, "Out of my way. All of you." Channeling all his strength, he gripped the axe tightly and swung it with a massive blow against the cabin. Yet, it did not leave even a single scratch. Hakfong roared in frustration, "What the hell? This thing is tougher than a bank vault. We have already broken several metal bars, crowbars, and hammers, but it has not budged a single bit." His lackeys muttered among themselves until one of them spoke up, "I can open it, but you have to let me go down there." He glared at him and snapped, "What kind of nonsense are you talking? Going down there is a death sentence. The 3 guys we sent in last time still have not come back." Another bandit mocked, "Are you daydreaming, kid?" Another chimed in, "Yeah, not even a mouse could survive down there." But the kid did not back down, saying firmly, "I have already seen it. There is a key to open it. Care to make a bet?" Hakfong grabbed him by the collar, lifting him up. "Huh? Who the hell do you think you are?" He calmly replied, "If I open it, you let me go. If I fail, you can kill me or do whatever you want with me." Hakfong threatened, "If you are trying to play tricks, I will end you right here." Meanwhile, inside the cabin, Yan Hao thought to himself, "Even though I have no idea what happened after I lost control, I am probably in the enemy's hideout right now. Ever since my core got upgraded, my perception abilities have been massively enhanced. I can not only sense my surroundings and deep underground, but I can also feel my own body's condition. This is the power of a red-grade core. My red mist reserve is at 67. My evolutionary skills include beast claws and beast bind, and my plundered skills are the red mist bomb and toxic glands. I am guessing I plundered the toxic glands from the queen bee. Outside, the bandits dragged the cabin deep underground, stopping right next to a giant skeleton. The kid pointed at it and said, "This is the spot." Hak Fong warned, "Kid, you better not be messing with me." But he simply pointed to a sharp bone and said, "This bone is the key." Hearing this, Hak Fong turned to his men and ordered, "Bring the iron box over here." Hak Fong grabbed the sharp bone and gritted his teeth. "You little brat, this better work, or else." Suddenly, the cabin behind them exploded violently, throwing the bandits to the ground in absolute shock. Amidst the thick cloud of rising dust, one of them shrieked in terror. "Boss!" The box opened itself. Suddenly, Yan Hao stood right before them, his hand emitting a green toxic mist. The two lackeys inhaled the gas, their faces instantly distorting in agony. One of them screamed, "It is poison!" As they collapsed to the ground, writhing in pain, Yan Hao muttered coldly, "Not bad. Using this as a support skill to control the field is actually pretty useful." Hak Fong gritted his teeth in disbelief. There was actually someone inside. "Did you guys seriously let us capture you just so you could infiltrate our hideout?" Yan Hao frowned. "What the hell are you talking about?" "Oh, really?" he confidently roared. "I used to be a D-rank warrior. Killing a nobody like you is like crushing an ant." Before he could even finish, he charged forward like a raging storm, brandishing a sharp bone. "You think you can play tricks on me? Die!" Yan Hao was surprised. D-rank? As the sharp bone grazed past, he clenched his fist, causing a thick cloud of venom to rise. Yan Hao threw a powerful punch right into his face. "Is that all you've got?" The punch sent him flying, skidding across the ground, and crashing right through a wall in a cloud of white dust. Yan Hao suddenly whipped around as if spotting something, and muttered, "Oh." His eyes glowed crimson as he glared at the kid. "You want a piece of this too?" Terrified by his beastly look, the kid fainted on the spot, making Yan Hao furrow his brows. Fainted already? He looked around at his surroundings and thought, why are there so many mutant beast bones in a place like this? The skeletons are covered in wounds. It looks like these mutant beasts didn't die of natural causes. Someone must have deliberately brought them here to fight each other to the death, just like a Roman Colosseum. Hearing a voice calling out from above, he thought, "Is that Tong Nui's electronic transmission? I can hear it even from 10 floors away," he chuckled, crushing the sharp bone in his hand. That girl is as impatient as ever. But right at that moment, the remaining bandits opened fire heavily on Tong Nui's team. Deng Qi lunged forward, his body as hard as rock, causing bullets to bounce harmlessly off him and terrifying the bandits. What kind of monster is this? Bullets can't even pierce him. He surged forward, unleashing a whirlwind kick that knocked out the bandits in just a few seconds. Once they were taken care of, Deng Qi reported, "Captain Tong, the area is secured, but we still haven't found Yan Hao yet." Hearing this, Tong Nui ordered, "Keep searching." As they looked around, Deng Qi noted, "There are mutant beast claw marks everywhere. It seems there's a secret hidden here." Standing before a massive crater, Kung Vu called out, "Captain Tong, the scanner that Sister Kim gave me detected that Yan Hao is right below us." But suddenly, he let out a surprised gasp, prompting Tong Nui next to him to ask, "What's wrong?" He replied, "The signal suddenly vanished." She panicked. "Oh no. The medical pod might have been destroyed. Yan Hao is in danger." Before she could finish, a dark figure shot up from the pit. It was Yan Hao, carrying the kid over his shoulder and grinning widely. "Is everyone okay?" Everyone froze in shock, gasping in disbelief. "Yan Hao," Deng Qi asked anxiously, "Yan Hao, are you all right?" Yan Hao shook his head. "I'm fine now." Tong Nui asked curiously, "So, what exactly went down there?" Looking down into the deep pit, his gaze turned serious. "Down there, it looks like an abandoned beast arena." Deng Qi frowned. "Captain Tong, should we investigate this?" But Tong Nui spoke cautiously. "Let's retreat first. We'll arrange an investigation once we're back." Kung Vu pointed at the kid and asked, "Yan Hao, who is this boy?" He quietly replied, "Oh, he is." Before he could finish, the kid suddenly thrashed violently, breaking free from his grip. He pulled out a small dagger and screamed maniacally, "Just die!" The blade flashed with a golden light as it thrust straight toward Yan Hao, but his body instantly underwent a partial beastification, and scales materialized, chipping the blade. His face darkened as he crushed the blade with his bare hand, his voice ice cold. How do you want to die? The kid roared. You guys. You soldiers are all despicable trash. Yan Hao grabbed him by the neck, making the kid's face contort as he gritted his teeth and spat. Just kill me. He let go, realizing this was a symptom of red mist contamination. Moments later, the kid passed out, and an ID card fell from his pocket onto the ground. Kong Vu bent down to pick it up and read aloud. Squad 7. Sheech Thach Patrol Team, Athak. This is a fellow soldier's ID card. After examining it, Tong Nui fell deep in thought. The person in the photo is much older than him, but their eyebrows look very similar. Could they be brothers? Then, she gave a decisive order. This kid is in bad shape. Let's get him back for medical treatment first, then we'll investigate. Kong Vu carried the kid on his back and replied, Understood. Walking behind them, Yan Hao thought to himself. His contamination seems to be in its early stages. If I absorb the red mist energy from his body, he might still be saved. By this time, the team had returned to the Shichuet barracks of the Hothan Special Response Team. Seeing them, a soldier shouted, They're back. Go report to young Master Truong immediately. The other soldier ran off, calling out, On it. As the team walked inside, Tong Nui ordered, Adjutant Lam, take Kim Owen to the medical room immediately. Deng Chi said firmly, Yes, ma'am, and helped Kim Owen walk away. However, another soldier blocked the path of Yan Hao and Kong Vu. Yan Hao asked, What's the meaning of this? The soldier replied, Excuse me, gentlemen. According to the latest quarantine protocol, anyone returning from a high-risk red mist zone must be quarantined immediately. He frowned. Since when did we have this rule? The soldier continued. This is an order from above. Please cooperate by stripping down completely for disinfection and a full examination. Hearing this, Tong Nui's face darkened. And who exactly issued this so-called order from above? I am their commander, Tong Nui. Call your superior to meet me right now. Her demand left the soldier flustered. Well, about that, a voice called out from a distance. Who is trying to dodge the inspection here? Truong Tan walked over with a fake smile. Oh, it's Captain Tong. My mistake. A complete misunderstanding. But a thought suddenly flashed through his mind. Why on earth did Song Nui come back with Yan Hao? Song Nui frowned. Did you order the logistics team to do this? Truong Tan replied with a smug, confident voice. I am in charge of the quarantine safety of the new recruits. Captain Song and researcher Kim are veterans of the special response team, so of course, they do not need to be inspected. Then he turned to Yan Hao with a fake smile. Yan Hao, this is for the good of the camp, so I hope you will cooperate. Hearing this, Song Nui barked. No need. Who do you think you are in this place? It is not your place to speak. Truong Tan was instantly tongue-tied and stuttered. I. Song Nui did not even bother to listen and just said, Ignore him. He shrieked, Wait, then pointed at the kid and demanded, Are you really planning to bring this filthy thing into the camp? Kong Vu whipped around. He is not a filthy thing. He is my teammate's little brother. Truong Tan sneered. Oh, so he is one of those patrol team members? Trash belongs in the dumpster. Grab him. Instantly, two logistics soldiers aimed their guns at Kong Vu and the kid. Kong Vu roared, You bastard. Truong Tan laughed mockingly. What? What are you going to do about it? Are you trying to disobey military orders? Song Nui snapped. Truong Tan, you. But she was stopped by a hand on her shoulder. Yan Hao stepped forward, his hand secreting a lethal venom. Let me, he said, placing his hand on Truong Tan's shoulder. Truong Tan flinched and smirked. Oh, so you want to rebel? But right after, the poison took effect, and his face twisted in sheer agony. This is poison. Since when? Yan Hao brushed off his hands. I know you do not like me, but your methods are truly pathetic. Call them off while you still have the chance. Look at you. We only exchanged a few words, and you are already so exhausted? Truong Tan collapsed to his knees, screaming, You. Yan Hao pretended to shout, Hey, your new team leader seems a bit tired. Take him back so he can rest. The two logistics soldiers nodded. Yes, sir, and rushed over in a panic. Leader, what is wrong? What happened to you? Groveling on the ground in agonizing pain, Truong Tan gritted his teeth. Yan Hao, you absolute bastard. Just you wait. I will get you back for this. Song Nui glanced over and whispered, What did you do? Yan Hao replied casually. Don't worry. I just put him to bed for 2 days. Inside the medical research lab, Kim Oan reported seriously. My protective suit was coated with a slow-acting corrosive substance. But after being exposed to high concentrations of the red mist, Its protective function completely failed. Song Liam fell deep into thought. There is a mole. Someone who did not want Kim Owen to make it back alive. He looked at Nguyen Hao and added, Nguyen Hao, you are also one of their targets. Nguyen Hao replied, Chief of Staff, I think their ultimate target is me. Kim Owen was just dragged into this because of me. He nodded, his voice turning grave. Is that so? Until this matter is cleared up, both of you are suspended from field missions. And Than adjusted his glasses and said, Old song. It looks like there is a cancer at headquarters that we need to cut out. I hope you can send someone trustworthy to protect my daughter and Nguyen Hao. If another mistake happens, neither of us will be able to bear the consequences. Song Liam listened and replied heavily, I understand. He turned to Song Nui. Nui, during this time, your top priority is to guarantee their absolute safety. Song Nui replied firmly, I understand, father. A few days later, Nguyen Hao was sitting on a bench, his eyes staring blankly into the distance. He thought to himself, field missions are suspended. We have a mole in the military. Truong Tan from the city defense team, a Thak from the patrol team. What should I do next? Kong Vu ran over from a distance, shouting, Brother Hao! He turned around, his voice sounding exhausted. What is it? Did something happen? Kong Vu leaned in close to his ear and whispered, When I was checking on the kid, I found a photograph. The girl in the picture looks exactly like your little sister. Nguyen Hao froze, grabbing Kong Vu's hand in a tight grip. Are you telling the truth? This made Kong Vu wail. Brother Hao, it is breaking. My hand is about to break. Inside the kid's hospital room, Kong Vu pushed the door open and asked, Doctor, how is his condition? The doctor picked up the medical chart and said thoughtfully, His current condition has stabilized, but we still need to keep him under observation. But when he first arrived, the infection was already extremely severe. How did it suddenly improve so much over the last few days? He turned directly to Nguyen Hao and asked, What did you do? Nguyen Hao's expression darkened as he said sternly, My apologies, doctor, but what comes next is an internal investigation for scarlet blood. Please step aside. The doctor turned to leave but still warned them, I know he is a bandit, but his infection symptoms have significantly improved. This is highly unusual, so I hope you guys will not. Clutching the photograph, Nguyen Hao said firmly, I know. Then he thought, after all, the red mist clinging to his body was cleared by me. Looking at the photo in his hand, his heart suddenly clenched. Tu-tu-yeah. Suddenly, the kid woke up, his eyes filled with panic. What do you want? That belongs to my brother. Nguyen Hao pointed urgently at the girl in the picture and pressed. Where did you see this girl? The kid replied with a trembling voice. It was half a year ago. When I went to the refugee resettlement camp, Nguyen Hao asked with a grim face. Where is she now? The kid shook his head. I do not know. Suddenly, he had a seizure, his face twisting as he screamed, They are all. I cannot see them anymore. My brother was the exact same. He clearly told me to wait in the city. He promised he'd be right back. Nguyen Hao froze, the memories of an old promise echoing in his mind. I'll definitely come back for you, okay? And a sweet, clear voice replied, You better come back. He remembered his younger self's face as he promised his little sister, I'll definitely come back for you. Standing beside him, Kang Vu whispered, Brother Neem. Athach was dispatched to relocate refugees back then, but during the evacuation, he was assigned a different mission, and then he vanished. Nguyen Hao frowned. Vanished? But why would they give him a different mission in the middle of an active one? Kang Vu replied, I don't really get it either. We'll probably have to look over the mission files from back then to know for sure. Nguyen Hao silently reached out and drew the red mist from the little demon's body, shocking Kang Vu. Brother Nguyen, what are you doing? Nguyen Hao turned and whispered, Shh, not a word of this to anyone else. As the little demon's condition stabilized, it clicked for Kang Vu. So that's how it is. No wonder his infection got better. Nguyen Hao held up the photo, his voice firm, I'll help you find your brother, but you have to tell me everything about you and the girl in this photo 6 months ago. The little demon hesitated before asking, If I tell you about that girl, will you really help me find my brother? Nguyen Hao looked him dead in the eye. You can choose to trust me. The demon quietly asked, What did you just do to me? Nguyen Hao replied calmly, I figured it would be good for both of us. The demon closed his eyes and sighed, Fine. After hearing the story about what happened 6 months ago, Nguyen Hao and Kang Vu left the room and headed to the camp cafeteria together. Kang Vu asked between bites, Brother Nguyen, do you really want to go back? Sitting across from him, Nguyen Hao's voice was firm. Of course, Tu Tuyet has been missing for over 6 months. I can't wait any longer. Hung Vu asked next. But what about Captain Tong? She said there's a mole in the military. Someone who wants to get rid of you. That's why she told me to follow you and report back if I find out anything. Yan Hao frowned. The only reason I came here is for Tu Tuyet, so no one can stop me. Suddenly, a woman's voice called out from behind him. And who's trying to stop you? Tong Ni walked over, and Kong Vu jumped up to ask. Sister Kim, is your leg doing okay now? Kim Oan smiled. That's right, the top-tier healing of Thi Huyet is indeed amazing. Tong Ni sighed. Let's go somewhere else. It's not a good place to talk. After that, everyone followed her into a small meeting room. Inside, Niam Hao asked, How did you guys find out? Kim Owen smiled and showed him the video from the hospital. Ngim Hao was surprised. Security cameras? Kong Vu gasped. Sister Kim, so you've been keeping tabs on us this whole time? Kim Oan playfully scolded him. Hey, watch your mouth. Big sister? I'm protecting you guys. You see, we're dealing with an internal threat right now, and there's a chance you guys could get kidnapped out of nowhere, Tong Ni said seriously. I was the one who told Kim Oan to pull that security footage. After you left, the doctor came to see me and explained everything. Ngim Hao, I won't stop you. I promised I'd help, so I hope you can trust me too. Hearing those words, Ngim Hao smiled with gratitude. Captain Tong. Kim Oan linked her arm with his, smiling playfully. Me too. Put your trust in me. Didn't you say you wanted to take care of something? I've got some pretty unique tricks up my sleeve. Kang Vu piped up as well. Brother Ngim, count me in too. I'll always have your back. Tong Ni smiled and asked. So, Ngim Hao, what's your next move? Care to share it with us? Touched, he smiled and nodded. All right. Right now, at the ruins on the outskirts of Shichthak City, a voice echoed from inside a bunker door, demanding the passcode. Trong Tui answered quickly. Nowhere to run. The voice inside replied, Come on in. He rushed inside, shouting, I have urgent business with Boss Hong. The fat man sitting on the chair smirked. Boss Hong doesn't have time for you. He yelled back in a panic. It's about Ngim Hao. He's rushing from Hothan to Shichthak City right now. Hearing this, the big guy immediately pulled out his phone. Boss Hong, we have news on Ngim Hao. Truong Tui smiled maliciously. Ngim Hao, you're dead meat. A few days later, at a checkpoint on the outskirts of Shichthak City, total chaos broke out. What do you think you're doing? What do you guys want? A soldier barked. By order of the city defense force, all incoming and outgoing vehicles must be inspected. Roll down your window, so I can see your face. What's your name? What's your business here? Tong Ni sat in the car, watching the chaos unfold. What is the city defense force even doing? This is complete chaos. Kang Vu's voice trembled from the back seat. What the hell? I've never seen them defend a city this passionately before. Ngim Hao glanced over with a faint smile. This is a really nice car. I didn't know you had this kind of taste. Tong Ni laughed. Since this isn't an official military mission, I couldn't use a military vehicle. Using my personal car keeps us under the radar. Kang Vu asked, Is it really okay to leave Sister Kim at headquarters all by herself? She replied, I already told Adjutant Lam to look after her, so she should be fine. Ngim Hao added, Kim Oan said she has her own ways to help me investigate, and she can only pull those strings from headquarters. That is exactly why I told her to stay. She nodded in agreement. Besides, Kim Oan can still support us from afar through military communications. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door for a security check. Right at that moment, on the high watchtower, a soldier screamed at the top of his lungs. An attack by mutant beasts, just 1 kilometer away. Everyone turned around in a panic, spotting a pack of iron-backed wolves charging right at them. The defense squad screamed in terror. We're dead! Retreat now! Tong Ni gritted his teeth in anger. They blocked us here, and now they're just going to leave us to die? Ngim Hao stepped out of the vehicle, his voice calm. Let me handle this. Meanwhile, from afar, the savage wolves chased down the fleeing crowd, creating a scene of absolute chaos. A wolf leaped forward, bared its fangs, and bit down on a man, making him scream in sheer terror. Help me! At that exact moment, Ngim Hao's arm transformed into a demonic claw, and he lunged like lightning to strike the wolf. With one swift blow, the wolf was knocked down. He shouted, Run if you want to live, as he stood his ground, blocking the oncoming pack. The wolf pack, made up of scout-class iron-backed wolves, let out a ferocious roar in unison and lunged forward. Surrounded on all sides, Yan Hao muttered softly, his voice low and calm. This scene was all too familiar. Memories of that day came rushing back when the beasts invaded this very city, tearing everything to pieces. He clearly remembered his little sister staring at the beast in pure terror. They unleashed a blast of energy that wiped out the entire neighborhood, roaring furiously as the city crumbled into ruins. That was why he swore he would never let something like that happen again. With that, he unleashed his dark power, wiping out the entire wolf pack. A soldier standing nearby watched in utter shock and gasped, "What kind of monster is this guy? He took out all those beasts in the blink of an eye." Another soldier shouted, "Quick! Notify Captain Truong. That person has arrived in Red Rock City." Once the dust settled, Yan Hao turned back to Tong Nui and said in a low voice, "It's taken care of." Kong Vu said in admiration, "Brother Neem, that was amazing. You really are a red-blood warrior." Tong Nui chimed in, "Leave the rest to me." She then turned and yelled, "Hey, you guys from the City Defense Force over there." She pulled out her badge and announced firmly, "I am Tong Nu, a red blood squad leader from the Special Response Unit. I order you to stop the inspection immediately and let the citizens into the city." The terrified soldiers replied, "Yes, ma'am." Although the citizens were allowed in, she couldn't help but wonder. It felt like there was another motive behind that inspection. She glanced at Yan Hao. "What do you think?" Yan Hao pondered. It felt like they were looking for someone, but he quickly brushed it aside. "Right now, our priority is to look into Athak's mission files." They stopped at the city defense headquarters of Red Rock City. Inside the archives, Kong Vu said, "All the patrol mission files are right here." Yan Hao flipped through the folders, frowning. Not this one either. Why couldn't they find Athak's file? On the other side of the room, Tong Nu was checking the computer when Kong Vu suddenly yelled, "Athak from Squad 7, Li Min, Vuong Quang. None of them are here. Even the basic roster has been taken out." Yan Hao turned around, shocked. "What?" Tong Nu walked over, her voice grave. "The local database has been wiped too. There's no trace of Athak's history in there." Kong Vu stood there dazed. Was this a dead end from the very beginning? Yan Hao asked helplessly, "Is there really no other way?" Tong Nui pulled out her phone. "Hold on." She quickly called Kim Oan. "Kim Oan, can you trace it?" Kim Owen's voice came through. "Got it. Just give me some time." She hung up and said calmly, "Kim Owen has a way to retrieve the database files, but she needs a bit of time." Kong Vu gasped in awe. "Wow. Is Sister Kim really that amazing?" Yan Hao nodded. "She calls herself Miss Know-It-All." Kong Vu suddenly remembered something and smiled. "Oh, right. Captain Giap is a veteran from the old government forces. Back when the patrol squad was first formed, he was the one who mentored Brother Thak. He definitely knows about that mission from years ago." Hearing this, Tong Nui ordered, "Let's go." At Captain Giap's house, the entire place was a total mess. Kong Vu gasped, "What happened here?" Yan Hao knelt down to pick up a shattered piece of debris, muttering, "There are signs of a struggle." Tong Nui analyzed. "These marks are very fresh. The fight must have just ended. Looking closely at this damage, it's 80% likely the work of the City Defense Force." Tong Nui frowned. "Why would the City Defense Force target Giap Tuan?" Kong Vu explained. "A while ago, Brother Neem helped Captain Giap and beat Captain Trong Koi of the City Defense Force to a pulp. They must be back for revenge now." Yan Hao stood up, his face darkening. "It seems they're targeting me. They took him to draw me out, and they used that inspection to confirm I entered the city. If that's the case, let's take them head on." Just as they stepped outside, two men in military uniforms were already waiting. One of them spoke up. "Officer Tong, we finally found you." Tong Nui asked coldly, "Who are you?" He quickly introduced himself. "I'm Lai Bon, the deputy officer of the City Defense Force. I just received word that you've arrived in Red Rock City. Captain Giap Tuan from our unit went missing while on a mission in the outskirts. We'd like to ask for your assistance in rescuing him." Tong Nui frowned. "This is military business. Why are you asking for our help?" He replied, "You don't understand, officer. The beasts around the city have been highly active lately, and ordinary soldiers like us stand no chance against them." From behind, Yan Hao gave her a subtle signal. Tong Nui caught his drift and said, "I see." She pointed at him. "I'll agree to help you find him, but you must come with us." Li Bon stammered. That might not be a good idea, right? I'm worried my presence will only hold you back, officers." Tong Nui stepped closer, her voice dripping with threat. "Are you trying to refuse? My words are not a request, they are an order. If you refuse, I can have you executed on the spot for insubordination." Li Bon squeaked in terror. "I wouldn't dare." She then ordered him to get into the car. The vehicle sped off toward the outskirts. Inside the car, Yan Hao questioned Deputy Libon. You said earlier that beast activity has been frequent lately. Then why did you send Captain Gaiap out on a mission? Did you guys send him out there just to die? Libon waved his hands frantically. How could we do that? Captain Gaiap requested it himself. Once they got out of the car, Libon pointed into the distance. It's near here. Yan Hao frowned. Something's not right, Tong Nui asked. What is it? Yan Hao replied. He said there's high beast activity in this area, but I don't smell any trace of red bones. Standing off to the side, Libon clutched his phone, thinking in terror. I need to get out of here, fast. But Kong Vu caught a glimpse of his pale expression. Kong Vu asked, Deputy Lai, what on earth are you doing? Startled, his voice trembled slightly as he replied, well, I already brought you all to the scene of the incident. I don't think you need me here anymore. So, I asked my team members to come pick me up and pass a message to Captain Tong. I'll leave the search and rescue mission in their hands, so I'll be taking my leave now. Tong Nui immediately blocked his path, her voice cold and stern. You're not going anywhere. She glared at him and demanded, Spit it out. What is your real motive? Suddenly, a dark vortex formed in the sky, crackling with violent bolts of lightning. Terrified, Li Bon collapsed to the ground. That thing, it's coming. Right at that moment, a massive lightning strike blasted the ground, shattering it in a blinding flash of light. Li Bon screamed in pure terror. No, please, I don't want to die. Watching the chaos unfold, Yan Hao gritted his teeth. So that was it. The reason there wasn't a single low-level beast around was because of this monster. Standing right before them was a colossal, Overlord-class lightning beast. It let out a deafening roar, its entire body enveloped in crackling lightning. Tong Nui froze, murmuring, A lightning beast? The ferocious beast glared at them with bloodshot, frenzied eyes. Kung Vu screamed in panic. An Overlord class. Why the hell is it suddenly appearing here? Yan Hao explained grimly. The unusual monster activity, the patrol squad going missing. It looks like none of this was a coincidence. Seizing the moment while everyone was distracted, Li Bon turned tail and ran. Tong Nui barked an order. Catch him! Don't let him escape! Kong Vu replied. Yes, ma'am. He instantly gave chase, yelling, Stop right there. But Li Bon fought back, screaming, I'm not dying here for nothing. Someone cried out, It's gathering energy, it's about to blast us. Instantly, the beast unleashed an overwhelming wave of magical power. Tong Nu leaped back, shouting, Get out of the way! The entire area was swallowed by a thick, suffocating cloud of smoke. He muttered to himself, Looks like leaving isn't going to be that easy. Tong Nu replied, Yan Hao, buy me some time and keep it busy. I'm going to get my weapon. Yan Hao nodded. You got it. High up on a skyscraper, someone was watching the whole thing unfold. Truong Thui smirked smugly. Yan Hao, let's see how cocky you can be this time. His henchman asked, Boss, can a tiny device like this really control an Overlord-class beast? He replied boastfully. It does much more than just that. The technology backing us is far beyond anything you could ever imagine. They've even built an entire beast breeding facility. I've seen it with my own eyes. The creatures they raise, there are no ordinary monsters. Once we capture Yan Hao and hand him over to them, Red Core City will finally belong to me. Meanwhile, Yan Hao was analyzing the situation. Elemental-type beasts rely heavily on raw energy to fight. The poison gland harvested from the queen bee should still work against an Overlord-class beast. He immediately closed the distance, ignoring the monster's furious roars. Yan Hao was forced backward, his claws digging deep into the ground. He gritted his teeth, staring at his hands in disbelief as his beast form was forcefully deactivated. Is this ability similar to Tong Nui's EMP bomb? Right then, the beast raised its massive claws, crackling with magical energy. Just as the claws swiped down, Yan Hao narrowly dodged it. He leaped back, drenched in sweat, his body completely exhausted. Yan Hao let out a heavy sigh. I can't let my guard down. This thing is definitely different from a regular Overlord-class beast. With that lightning barrier surrounding its body, there's absolutely no way to get close. Tong Nu chimed in, so we just need to get rid of that lightning armor, right? He looked at her in surprise. Captain Tong, can you actually do that? She assured him. Of course. My beast core ability is lightning-based. The beast's lightning can suppress surrounding particles and neutralize other abilities. I'll use everything I've got to fire an EMP round and temporarily disable its lightning armor. but the window will be extremely small. It'll recover fast. Yan Hao dashed forward. That's more than enough. A split second is all I need. Leave the rest to me. The moment he got close to the beast, Yan Hao roared, "Do it now!" Right on cue, Tong Nui fired her EMP round. Closing in as the lightning armor shattered, Yan Hao swiftly unleashed his strike, Beast Claw, Poison Infusion. His eyes narrowed as he watched closely. How's the queen bee's poison holding up? Nice. It's working. The poison is slowing down its movements. The beast retaliated, but Yan Hao effortlessly slipped past, taunting, "Too slow." He then quickly launched a barrage of rapid-fire strikes. Go to hell. Although its raw attack power was superior to the previous Overlord class, without its lightning armor, its physical defense was incredibly weak compared to before. He thought to himself, if it weren't for Tong Nu's EMP round, I wouldn't have even had a chance to get close. I need to become much stronger. Suddenly, Yan Hao yelled, "Hey, where do you think you're going? You're already here, so you might as well leave something behind." Meanwhile, the henchman standing next to Truong Thu gasped in disbelief. "Boss, what do we do now? Did that beast actually lose?" Looking on, Tong Nu silently observed. "Yan Hao has really grown a lot lately." Tong Nui muttered to herself, "I need to get stronger too." On the skyscraper, Truong Thu roared in anger. "Who said I only brought one Overlord-class beast to deal with them?" The henchman gasped. "Wait, don't tell me." Suddenly, Tong Nui heard a strange noise from behind and quickly spun around. Tong Nui stared at the new monster in pure disbelief. "There's another one?" Yan Hao turned around, gritting his teeth hard. "Another one? Already?" Another monster lunges out of nowhere, opening its massive maw to swallow Song Rui whole. Rushing in, he shoves her out of the way, screaming, "Get back!" Song Rui is knocked to the ground and rolls away. In that exact instant, the beast unleashes a violent rampage. Terrified by the sight, she screams, "Yan Hao!" Suddenly, the beast's body begins to shudder as a sickening, metallic grinding sound echoes from its throat. Clinging to its jaws, Yan Hao, with blood-red eyes, is desperately prying its mouth open. "You think you can swallow me, you piece of garbage?" Infuriated, the monster spits him out. Yan Hao lands on his feet and mutters coldly, "Two Overlord-class beasts, huh? They're really rolling out the red carpet for us." Song Rui quickly runs to his side, asking, "Are you okay?" He reassures her, "I'm fine." Yan Hao mutters in disbelief, "I didn't expect a beast to have stealth capabilities." She explains, "It's a specialized variant, highly evolved to conceal its presence." And then it launches sudden surprise attacks. Without a support teammate with strong sensory skills, they are incredibly difficult to handle. Just then, the monster materializes again, spewing a dense cloud of smoke. He realizes, has that lightning beast's power already recharged? In that split second, another beast looms right behind Yan Hao. Panic flashes in his eyes. This is bad. Caught completely off guard, Yan Hao takes a direct hit. Song Rui watches in sheer panic as he is ruthlessly battered. "Yan Hao," she screams, gathering her remaining strength in a fit of rage. "You filthy beast." She hurls an EMP grenade. The grenade immediately cloaks the monster's body in a web of crackling electricity. But then, it cloaks itself again. She cries out in frustration. It vanished again. Yan Hao grunts. "That bastard's stealth is top tier. With my sensory skills, I can barely track its movements." Song Rui calls out, "It was hit by my EMP grenade. I can track its position through the magnetic field." He demands, "Give me its location. I'm not playing around with this thing. One shot is all I need." She nods. "Got it. It's right behind you on your left. Are you sure about this?" Yan Hao grins confidently. "Of course." Song Rui suddenly screams, "It's coming from your back right." Yan Hao instantly spins around, grabbing the monster's jaws. "You like to eat, don't you?" He unleashes his power. "Then try digesting this." Instantly, the beast's mouth is flooded with Yan Hao's blazing red energy. Its mouth erupts in flames, filling the area with thick smoke. The beast collapses heavily to the ground. He mutters, "That's one down." Standing alert, Yan Hao scans the area, searching for the remaining one. "Captain Song, can you pull off that move one more time?" She replies, "I'm not wearing beast core gear, so I don't have the spare energy to cast it again. But there is another way to shatter its electric armor." Intrigued, Yan Hao asks, "What is it?" Song Rui answers, "I can transfer all of my remaining power into you. It will create an ionized layer around you. It won't last long, maybe only 10 seconds. But this ionized shield can block a single strike from the magical beast. Gathering his own surging power, he replies fiercely, "That's more than enough." Yan Hao charges forward like a gust of wind, telling himself, "I only have one shot." The magical beast immediately unleashes its full force in a desperate attack. Yan Hao analyzes, "I must not take a hit before I get close." Stealing his resolve, he concentrates every ounce of his energy into his right fist. With a burst of overwhelming force, Yan Hao unleashes a devastating punch. Meanwhile, back at the base, Zhang Shui screams in disbelief. "It's over. Those are 2 Overlord-class beasts. Even 2 Class B fighters might not stand a chance. They're only Class C. How is this possible? Quickly, tell Team 2 to launch the missiles and pin them down. We absolutely cannot let them leave this place. I'm going to summon the people from Lu Teng." The subordinate replies, "Understood." Meanwhile, the energy swirling around Yan Hao's fist slowly dissipates. He declares, "It's over." Looking down, Yan Hao contemplates. This crackling orb must be the lightning beast's core, and this faintly glowing one is the stealth beast's core. Song Rui put in a ton of effort this time, so it's only fair I split the loot with her 50-50. With that in mind, he turns around and calls out, "Captain Song, I have." Suddenly, Yan Hao spots Song Rui lying unconscious on the ground. "Song Rui." Just then, Kang Yu drags Li Ben over, calling out, "Captain Song, I've brought Adjutant Li back." The prisoner wails, "Please, no, I don't want to die." Suddenly stopping in his tracks, he gasps, "Brother Yan, what happened to Captain Song?" He replies, "She overexerted her powers, leading to total exhaustion. Fortunately, it's just physical fatigue, and she hasn't been infected by the red mist." Meanwhile, up on the rooftop, a group of people is in a frenzy. Team 2, lock on with the missiles. Boss, Adjutant Li is still down there. Zhang Shui sneers coldly. Who cares about him? That absolute idiot. I only wanted him to lure everyone here, and yet the fool went and got himself killed anyway. Suddenly, an explosion erupts near Yan Hao, taking him by surprise. Military-grade weapons? Kang Yu gasps. What? Terrified, Li Ben screams. Zhang Shui, "You're just going to leave me to die? Then I'll drag you down with me." This was all Zhang Shui's idea. He said if we captured Yan Hao, we'd get a massive promotion, strike it rich, and rise straight to the top. He's hiding somewhere nearby. He's the one who told me to just lead everyone to this spot. Up on the roof, Zhang Shui growls in frustration. "How could you absolute morons miss?" His subordinate quickly explains. The lightning beast's previous attack discharged a massive amount of electricity, disrupting the surrounding electromagnetic field and throwing off our targeting system. Kang Yu asks, "Has the shelling stopped?" Yan Hao commands, "Get Captain Song out of here right now and make contact with Jin Ying. Let her know that Trong Thui, the defense captain of Shichthach City, has betrayed us and ambushed Captain Tong Nu. Bring his lieutenant back for interrogation too, and tell Kim Owen that this must be reported to Tong Liam, the chief of staff of the special response team." He acknowledged. "Understood." A moment later, Kang Vu screamed, "Brother Ngiam, get in the car, quick." "What are you doing standing out there?" He snapped angrily. "You idiot. If we all get in, we'll just be sitting ducks. Get out of here now, I'll cover you guys." He hesitated, but Ngiam Hao kicked an incoming shell away and asked, "Don't you trust me?" The guy was stunned. He actually kicked a shell away. Then he called out, "Fine, Brother Ngiam, be careful. I'll get Captain Tong to safety and come right back to back you up." Panicked voices echoed through the hail of bullets. "Boss, our artillery is being blocked by Ngiam Hao. He's heading right for us." Truong Tui fled as he ordered. "Stop him, quick! The Ludang troops are almost here." Suddenly, a surge of red electricity shot out, shocking his underlings. "What the hell is that?" He glanced back in terror. "How is this guy so damn strong? He took down 2 Overlord-class beasts and still has energy left?" Soon after, Truong Thui was caught by Ngiam Hao. He screamed in pain. Ngiam Hao, filled with rage, slammed Truong Thui's head into the ground and said, "Captain Truong, long time no see." He begged, "Brother Ngiam, no. Brother Hao, take it easy on me. Honestly, I was forced into this. This whole thing is tied to a very Ngiam Hao cut him off. You've messed with the wrong person. Do you understand?" Before he could even finish his sentence, a fist slammed into his face. Caught completely off guard, Ngiam Hao was sent flying back a great distance. Jia Kiat spoke up. "Since when do rats talk so big?" Truong Thui rejoiced internally. "Finally, he's here," he said. "Thank you for saving me, my lord." Ngim Hao asked. Who are you? The man replied. That's none of your business. Then Jia Kiat leaped up, vanishing into thin air right in front of Ngim Hao. Suddenly, he reappeared, launching a fierce attack on him. Jia Kiat unleashed a barrage of attacks, putting Ngim Hao on the defensive. Moments later, he clenched his fist, channeling magical power, and unleashed it right at him. He sneered with contempt. Too weak. Jia Kiat possessed such immense strength that the strike sent Ngim Hao flying far away. Finally, a devastating explosion lit up the entire sky. He said, Since the higher-ups took this so seriously, I thought you'd be a big shot, but you're nothing but a sewer rat. I gave you 2 Overlord-class beasts, and you still lost to this piece of trash? Truong Thui stammered nervously. I am so sorry. The man turned to leave. I'll leave the rest to you. I'm heading back. He replied, Understood. I won't disappoint you next time. Then, Truong Thui turned around and stomped on Ngim Hao's face. After struggling for so long, Ngim Hao was finally defeated here. Truong Thui made a call. Hello. Start a video call with Ko Tuan. His lackeys barked. Get up and look. Boss wants you to see someone. Truong Thui grabbed Ngim Hao's hair. Captain Ko. Look who I have here, he screamed. Ngim Hao. Truong Thui, you lunatic. Why are you doing this? If you have a problem, come at me, Truong Thui shouted back. I'm going to make sure Ngim Hao dies a miserable death. Truong Thui ordered. Team 2. Assemble at my position. Take Ngim Hao back to the Thuan Duong base. Meanwhile, Ngim Hao faked being unconscious. His chance had arrived. He needed to absorb this rust-red quality beast core first. 300 meters underground, at the Ludang base in Shich Thok City, he was imprisoned inside a test tube, submerged in green liquid. Ngim Hao used the absorbed Overlord-class stealth beast core to extract the shadow stealth skill, entering an invisible state for 3 minutes. Ngim Hao gently applied pressure to the glass, causing it to shatter into pieces as the green liquid rushed out. With a sharp gaze, Ngim Hao thought, based on their route, this place shouldn't be too far from the ruins we were just at. To think such a place was hidden on the outskirts of the city, an underling rushed in frantically to report to Vuong. Oh no, test subject 0907 has escaped. He ordered, notify security immediately. On the surveillance screen, Ngim Hao extended his hand and released a burst of energy, immediately cutting the feed. Everyone panicked. The camera lost its signal. Hulong ordered furiously, orders from above are to capture him alive. Prepare a large number of tranquilizer darts and specialized nets for mutated beasts. The others shouted, the door is open. Ngim Hao's entire body emitted a purple energy, rendering him completely invisible to them. Everyone was in a panic, unable to find the test subject. What is going on? Hulong commanded with authority. Find him immediately, they discussed as they ran. The test subject we spent so much effort to capture is just gone. If we don't find him, we're all dead meat. Ngim Hao stood there watching them, feeling both amused and anxious. It seems the effect is incredible, but this state can only last for 10 minutes. He accelerated forward. I need to hurry and find Captain Ko. Dieu, to lit a cigarette and wondered, what's going on outside? Did the test subject escape? The man next to him spoke up. None of our business. Our only job is to capture them. If they look bad, that's their own damn problem. Suddenly, a figure approaches and knocks them clean out. Ngim Hao then bends the steel bars with his bare hands. Captain Ko Tuan calls out weakly, Ngim Hao. Then he perks up. Attaboy, kid. I knew it. How could you let yourself get caught so easily? Ngim Hao replies, it's all thanks to the training from an old captain like you. He looks down at Ko Tuan, who is guzzling water. I originally came looking for you because of a Thok's disappearance. I never expected to drag you into this. Ko Tuan says, a Thak. I've been looking for him too. Ngim Hao asks, then did you find any clues? Even the smallest detail could help. Ko Tuan replies, his face suddenly turning dead serious. This whole thing is far more complicated than we imagined. Right after the patrol team was formed, the city defense force transferred a ton of our guys under the guise of special missions, and every single one of them just vanished. The higher-ups kept insisting their disappearances were classified mission details, so I wanted to investigate. But that guy, Truong Thui, was always secretly breathing down my neck. Ngim Hao ponders, these waters run deeper than I thought. The city defense force doesn't have that kind of pull. There must be someone else pulling the strings behind the scenes. Once we capture Truong Thui, the truth will come to light. Suddenly, a group of men bursts in, catching them off guard. He's right here. Yan Hao steps in front of Ko Tuan to shield him. Ko Tuan urges, "My friend, get out of here, fast. Don't get dragged into this any deeper." The soldier barks, "Kill the patrol captain. Capture the test subjects alive." With that, Yan Hao leaps high into the air. Before the guards can even react, he delivers a powerful sweep, knocking the entire squad to the floor. If I just run away like this, wouldn't all my effort of pretending to get caught go to waste? He asks excitedly, "Captain Ko, can you still move?" Ko Tuan replies confidently, "Who do you think you're talking to?" The immortal old Ko. Truong Thui roars, "Hurry! Release all those beasts. Otherwise, none of us will be able to stop him." The curly-haired guy snaps back, "Truong Thui, you have no right to order us around." Truong Thui snaps in anger, "Are you seriously saying this right now? Your commander isn't here, so you listen to me. If we let them escape, we are all dead meat." Yan Hao calmly walks in, with Ko Tuan trailing right behind him. "What's going on here?" A horde of ferocious monsters charges right at them. Yan Hao says, "Captain Ko, go find a place to hide first." Ko Tuan warns anxiously, "Yan Hao, watch out." Suddenly, Yan Hao's hands morph into razor-sharp claws. He thinks to himself, breeding these mutated beasts is a pure betrayal of humanity. It looks like those two Overlord-class beasts were released from here too. He lunges forward, slashing violently with his claws and tearing a beast completely in half. He thinks, did they really think they could stop me with nothing but these mindless beasts? On the other side, Truong Thui is still throwing a screaming fit. "If you don't do as I say, you won't even have time to destroy the documents." A sadistic smirk spreads across his face as he thinks, with this many mutated beasts, it'll be more than enough to wear Yan Hao out. Suddenly, a massive boulder comes flying, slamming right into his back. He collapses to the ground as a figure slowly approaches from a distance. "I haven't even got in the damn car yet," he curses furiously. From a distance, a mocking voice echoes back. "Truong Thui, you're of no use to us anymore." Tran Lam wears a devious grin as he looks at the detonator. "Rest in peace." An ear-splitting explosion rings out, and Truong Thui is left standing there, screaming, "You bastards actually abandoned me?" He stammers, his voice trembling. "Yan Hao, don't you dare come any closer. I still have old Ko." But Yan Hao grabs him by the throat, pinning him hard against the wall. "Who the hell is pulling your strings? What is this place?" Truong Thui stammers in terror. "Yan Hao, do you seriously not care whether Ko Tuan lives or dies?" Yan Hao gestures with his chin toward Ko Tuan, who is standing just a short distance away. "Take a good look. Who's that?" Truong Thui gasps in shock. "Old Ko, how the hell are you out here?" Trembling with fear, he completely breaks. I'll talk. It was a man named Hong Thien Sin who ordered me to do this. I don't know who he really is, but he told me that if I handed you over to him, I'd be set for life with wealth and power. This place is one of their bases." Yan Hao's eyes narrow sharply. "You bastards have been secretly tracking my every move from the very start. You even knew beforehand that I was investigating the patrol team's case, which is why you made your move early." Truong Thui stammers, I didn't know about that. It must have been a coincidence." Yan Hao tightens his grip on Truong Thui's throat, making him scream out in pain. "But I know where they took the missing patrol members. Mr. Hong is probably over there too. Master Hao, please spare my life. I'll lead the way for you." He searches and finds a manhole, pulling the cover open, even though they blew up the main passage and caused this side to collapse. Looking up from below, he continues, "There's a hidden pathway down here. We should be able to get through." The three of them head down together. Ko Tuan groans, "Man, it reeks down here." Yan Hao thinks to himself, how did this tunnel even get here, and what is this strange odor spreading everywhere? Meanwhile, Truong Thui is plotting in his head, I have to find a way to shake them off. If that doesn't work, I'll lead them straight to that master, Luke Dang, and let him do my dirty work. Suddenly, Yan Hao senses something, this suffocating pressure. He looks down at the ground. Deep beneath the dirt, a colossal creature is lurking, its eyes glowing a deep, blood red. At the Lu Dang Red Mist storage base just outside Chichthak City, Song Yu stood inside the room, her eyes scanning every corner with intense focus. Kim O-won grumbled, I didn't find a single thing on my end, just a bunch of mutant beast corpses. Did you get any results from your analysis yet? She replied, the clues are too fragmented to piece together a complete picture. Frustrated, she snapped, Ice Queen Song Nui, you went to solve a case, so how did you let Yan Hao slip right through your fingers? Kongvu chimed in. There was already tension because of the conflict between the captain and Truong Thui from the city defense force, but we never expected him to actually make a move on the special response team. Kim Owen sighed. I reported this to Uncle Song last night, and he seemed absolutely furious. Deng Chi dragged Li Ban forward and asked Captain Song, "What should we do with this guy?" Song Nu replied, "We still need to squeeze some information out of him. That hideout you mentioned is already empty. The mastermind behind all this, that you mentioned earlier. Do you have any other important info on them?" Trembling, he stammered, "I really don't know. Truong Tui never let me get involved in any of that." She threatened, "I've already uncovered some secrets about you guys and Lu Dang. If you come clean right now, we'll count it as a confession. Otherwise, get ready to have your head blown off." Lai Ban panicked. Wait. Let me think. Truong Tui has been secretly visiting the Red Mist storage facility of a Lu Dang Group subsidiary. Kim Oan repeated. The Red Mist storage facility? He nodded frantically. Yes, there's definitely something fishy going on there. She ordered them to move out. Let's head straight over and see what's going on. Deng Chi stopped her. Hold on. The chief of staff ordered my brother to lead the main force to Chich Thok City to suppress the rebels. It might take a little more time. Should we wait for them to arrive before we act? Song Nui frowned. Our main mission isn't to suppress the rebels, it's to keep Yan Hao safe. Patrol squad, take Li Ban back to Instructor Lam. The rest of you, follow me. Kongvu acknowledged. Got it. A while later, the group arrived at the Red Mist storage facility, only for a guard to block them. Halt. This is a restricted area. Authorized personnel only. Even if you're with the Crimson Blood Special Response Team, you cannot enter. Song Nui didn't waste words, knocking the guard flat in an instant. Out of my way! The other guards held their heads in panic. Quick, report this to Lord Lu. Lord Lu, Crimson Blood is here. Standing above them, Jia Kiat replied, I see them. She warned. Careful, this is likely one of their key strongholds. Suddenly, Kim Oan heard a sound from above, and in a flash, he lunged down to attack her. Startled, Kim Oan sprang backward, her feet planting firmly on the floor. Jia Kiat clenched his fists, smirking. Interesting. Song Nui stepped forward to confront him, demandingly, Who the hell are you? Ignoring her, Jia Kiat charged straight at her, roaring. Nothing to talk about. Deng Chi quickly activated his beast transformation armor, shouting, Watch out. He used his body to shield Kim Owen, taking the blow for her. But Jia Kiat's strike was so powerful, it sent both Kim Owen and Deng Chi flying back. At the same time, Song Nui launched an attack from behind. Deng Chi yelled, Captain Song, watch out, this guy might be a B rank. But Jia Kiat easily dodged her strike. He immediately countered, making Song Nu let out a cry of pain. Song Nu was slammed to the ground, her face filled with panic. As she lay helpless, he closed in for the kill. Jia Kiat delivered a devastating kick, sending Song Nu crashing straight into the wall. Kim Owen shrieked, Song Nu. Deng Chi muttered in worry, This is bad. The captain isn't a close combat specialist. Without her weapon and mutant beast gear, she can't unleash her full potential. Grabbing her by the hair, he sneered. Is this all Crimson Blood is capable of? Compared to that rat yesterday, you guys are all trash. You're really not that tough. Song Nui spat back. How could Yan Hao ever be defeated by trash like you? Infuriated, Jia Kiat threw her into the air and sneered. Still talking tough on your deathbed? Today, let's see who can take more of my hits, you or that little rat. Before he could even finish his sentence, a heavy fist slammed right into his face. Yan Hao appeared, sending Jia Kiat crashing face down onto the ground, smashing a giant hole in the wall. Meanwhile, Yan Hao leaped up to catch Song Nu. Kim Oan whined, A princess carry? That's totally unfair. I want one too. Yan Hao landed gently with her amidst the rising mist, asking softly, Are you okay? Song Nui whispered, Yan Hao. As the dust cleared, she realized he was holding her tightly in his arms. In shock, she gasped, Yan Hao. She immediately asked him in worry, Are you okay? He looked at her with a gentle smile. Shouldn't I be asking you that? Kim Oan yelled. How long are you two going to keep hugging? We still have a major headache to deal with. His eyes bloodshot, Jia Kiat clutched his face as he stumbled back up. What the hell is going on? He demanded. How are you still here? Yan Hao calmly replied. Naturally. An old friend of yours brought me. Ko Chuan walked out, escorting Truong Thui at gunpoint. Move it! Seeing this, Jia Kiat roared. Truong Thui, you dared to betray them? Trembling, he stammered. I had no choice. They forced me. Without another word, Jia Kiet lunged forward with a punch. A traitor like you only deserves death. Terrified, Truong Thui shrieked, "Help me!" Yan Hao blocked the punch with a single hand. This guy couldn't die just yet. Someone said, "Captain Song, Truong Thui is holding a lot of secrets." She replied, "I know." Jia Kiet roared in anger, "You're just a sewer rat. You think you can stop me?" Sonic punch. He unleashed a barrage of kicks at Yan Hao, but they were all blocked. Instantly, Yan Hao fired back with a direct kick straight to Jia Kiet. Too slow. The devastating power of the kick sent him crashing hard into the wall, shattering bricks and sending debris flying everywhere. Instantly, Jia Kiet lunged forward, his power exploding. "You've officially pushed me too far. Today, you're going to die here." Sonic Windblade, a massive, shuriken-shaped wind vortex surged toward Yan Hao. He quickly leaned to the side, dodging the attack. More wind blades flew. Deng Qi gasped in shock. An ability user. Meanwhile, Kim Oan gritted her teeth in frustration. Turns out he was a wind attribute user, just like her. Tong Ni glared at Truong Thui and demanded, "Who exactly is he?" Terrified, he stammered, I don't know. I only know he's one of Mr. Hong's top underlings." Dozens of wind vortexes hurtled toward Yan Hao, but he gracefully slipped through them with absolute ease. Is that all? A B-class is nothing special after all. Jia Kiet's eyes widened in sheer disbelief. What is going on here? Did he lose to me on purpose earlier? Taking the full force of Yan Hao's punch, he slammed heavily into the wall, leaving a massive crater behind him. No way, this can't be happening. Jia Kiet clenched his fists, forcing even more of his power to erupt. No damn way. Suddenly, a thick red mist began to pour into the room. Truong Thui screamed in panic. "The red mist is leaking. Run! I don't want to die." Tong Ni ordered, "Adjutant Laman, take them back." He hesitated. "But what about you, Captain?" Tong Ni replied, "I have to stay here with Yan Hao." Deng Qi spoke up. "He wouldn't think this is a good idea." She snapped, "Just follow my orders." Kim Oan grabbed Tong Ni's hand and said, "Wait, I have a plan." At that moment, Jia Kiet held up a pill and sneered, "You think you can beat me like this?" Swallowing the pill, he thought, "Even though it shortens my lifespan, this little baby is enough to keep me conscious just long enough to absorb the red mist's power." As the medicine kicked in, Jia Kiet's power erupted. "Bring it on, you insects." He charged forward like lightning, moving so fast he became a blur. The clash between the two triggered a massive, earth-shaking explosion. Yan Hao gritted his teeth, thinking, his speed increased? Jia Kiet attacked Yan Hao relentlessly, shouting, "Can you feel it? This is A-class speed." He landed a heavy blow straight to Yan Hao's stomach. And this strength, too. The sheer force of the impact sent Yan Hao flying. Jia Kiet sneered triumphantly, "How much longer can you hold out? It's time to end this." But before he could finish his sentence, something caught his eye. To his surprise, Kim Oan had caught Yan Hao with her wind barrier technique. She then raised her hand to activate her Tempest skill, making Yan Hao's body feel incredibly light. Jia Kiet launched an attack, roaring, "All of you, die!" But Yan Hao blocked it easily with just one hand. "You call this an ultimate move?" Jia Kiet couldn't believe his ultimate technique had been shattered so easily. Yan Hao vanished from where he stood, reappearing instantly to deliver a fierce uppercut to Jia Kiet's chin, followed by a flurry of lightning-fast blows. Yan Hao threw a final punch and said, "I don't even need the red mist to deal with trash like you." Just a second later, Jia Kiet lay on the ground, beaten senseless. Yan Hao stood over him and asked, "Where is Mr. Hong?" Nearby, someone gasped in horror. "How is this even possible?" Mr. Hong observed. "So Lu Fong actually lost? This Yan Hao guy is far more interesting than I thought. Looks like we need to keep a closer eye on him." His subordinate asked, "Mr. Hong, what should we do now?" He ordered, "Wipe all remaining data and evacuate with me." "Yes, sir," they replied in unison. Mr. Hong added, "Just let that thing down below clean up this place." Outside, the alarm system was blaring loudly. He looked at the monster and said suggestively, "It's been starving for a very long time." The dark atmosphere was filled with an eerie, mysterious vibe. Yan Hao asked coldly, "Where is Mr. Hong?" Jia Kiet's defeated body lay slumped on the ground. Kim Oan grumbled, "How is he supposed to answer you when he's knocked out like this?" "You went way too hard on him," he explained. "Hey, I held back a lot on my final strike. So all the patrol squad members were brought here?" A man quickly replied, "Yes, Master Ngim, let me take you down there." After walking down to the basement, the subordinate pointed and said, "It's right down here, but you need a passcode to open the door, and I honestly don't know it." Yan Hao calmly replied, "No need to know it." He raised his leg and kicked the door right off its hinges with incredible force. He asked, "Is everyone in here?" The man replied, "I don't know. I was only responsible for bringing them down. I don't know anything else." Suddenly, Yan Hao's attention was drawn to something right ahead of them. Noticing his reaction, Tong Ni asked, "What's wrong?" He replied, "Over there. I can sense human presence inside. We can't force this door open, or we might hurt whoever's inside." Full of confidence, she stepped forward and said, "Leave it to me." Yan Hao asked skeptically, "Can you actually open it?" Kim Oan smirked, "Hey, you're talking to an expert here." Her slender fingers danced swiftly across the keypad. With one final press, Kim Oan declared, "And done." Together, they peered deep into the room, only to see a tangle of tubes and equipment surrounding human bodies being used as research subjects. "Help." Terrified, she quickly covered her mouth. Dungtree couldn't help but bark. How could they capture this many people? Furious, Tong Ni grabbed the guide's collar. "What on earth are you guys doing?" "I really don't know," the man squealed in terror. "I only brought everyone here. I really don't know anything else." Ko Tuan pointed and said, "Yan Hao, a Thak is in here." Clenching his fist, he replied, "Got it. I'm getting him out right now." Suddenly, Tong Oan ran up to stop him. "Wait a second." Yan Hao was taken aback. "What are you doing?" she scolded. "What do you think you're doing? This is life support equipment. If you break it, how are we supposed to save them? Saving them requires specialized equipment. We need to report this to the technical department first." Suddenly, her phone rang. "Hello?" The voice on the other end said, "Captain Tong, Instructor Lam has arrived in Sheech Thak City." Tong Ni ordered, "Take them to the Red Mist storage base immediately." "Yes, ma'am," he called out to Captain Tong. "There's a strange device blinking here." Pale-faced, Dungtree asked, "What's going on?" Suddenly, one of Jia Kiat's subordinates collapsed to the ground in terror. At that exact moment, Tong Oan detected a highly unusual fluctuation. It seems to be releasing energy. There's highly concentrated red mist inside this thing. The ground suddenly began to shake, and someone screamed, "Earthquake!" Yan Hao urgently shouted a warning. "Something is coming! Get out of the way, fast!" Right then, strange fluids erupted near Tong Oan. He quickly lunged forward, throwing a punch that blasted it away to protect her. Dungtree concluded, "Lu Feng has beastified." She added, "Is he suffering from the side effects of being forced to inhale that stuff? To think he's already transformed into this monstrous shape." Tong Ni's mind was in turmoil. That form looked exactly like her uncle. He spoke up. "This machine is just bait to lure mutant beasts here. Something far more dangerous is on its way. We must lure it away, or it will tear this place to shreds." Tong Ni chimed in, "I'm coming with you." He frantically called out to Captain Tong. Tong Ni instructed, "You guys guard this place well." Yan Hao assessed the situation. "It's almost here. We need to draw it away." Up above, Mr. Hong watched with absolute delight. "Let's see just how many more surprises you can give me. If you can get through this, you'll be worth our deeper research." Suddenly, Yan Hao threw the test tube and shouted, "Take this!" At the same time, the monster immediately leaped to give chase. Moments later, a bizarre creature rose from beneath the ground. It opened its massive, savage maw as if to swallow everything whole, its colossal body looming with glowing red eyes. He and Tong Ni stood frozen, staring in shock. In the distance, a convoy of military vehicles lined up continuously along the road. Sitting in the vehicle, Dung Tri wondered, "Why did Captain Tong Ni want us to head to the Red Mist storage base? What happened there?" Kang Vu replied, "I don't know either. She only said there's a research institute beneath the base." From inside the vehicle, they spotted the terrifying monster outside and screamed, "What on earth is that?" He frowned and growled, "This isn't something Tong Ni and the others can handle." The scene outside was pure chaos, with danger lurking everywhere. Dung Tri quickly leaped out. "Right now, only I can fight, since I'm equipped with beast core gear." He called back, "Instructor Lam," he ordered, "take the reinforcements to the research lab. I'll go ahead." Kang Vu quickly drove off as ordered. "Understood." Dung Tri rushed forward as fast as he could, his mind racing. What on earth actually happened here? The sky had now turned pitch black, without even a faint sliver of light remaining. Staring at it, Tong Ni concluded, "Is this size? A behemoth class? Yan Hao added. To think they actually lured this thing here. The giant worm monster kept opening its mouth, revealing countless sharp teeth that reflected the reflection of the two of them in its eyes. Suddenly, the giant worm went completely wild and lunged to attack them. Realizing things were looking bad, Yan Hao unleashed his technique, beastified claws. Then, he delivered a powerful slash to its body. That attack immediately provoked the beast, making it thrash around violently. Sensing the disadvantage, Yan Hao muttered, "Damn it, my attack can't even scratch its outer shell." Tongni agreed. "This isn't something we can handle. Let's fall back first." He cursed, "That beast is highly interested in me, which is why it's attacking us. If we retreat from here, the Red Mist storage base will be its next target. I'll do everything I can to hold it off. You need to get the people out of the underground research lab as fast as possible." "Worried?" Tongni replied. "You facing it all by yourself? I can't allow that." Yan Hao was filled with determination, thinking, "We finally found some clues. I absolutely cannot let this beast ruin everything." Watching him charge forward, she cried out, "Yan Hao." Meanwhile, Tong Oan ran a check. Except for basic life detection data, everything else has been wiped. She frowned. "Looks like we're dealing with a pro." Just then, Kang Vu rushed in. "Captain, I've brought the reinforcements." "Captain Ko, are you all right?" Ko Tuan replied, "I'm fine." "I'm okay. Yan Hao saved me. That kid, Yan Hao." He looks around in confusion. "Yan Hao?" At the same time, he introduces himself. "I am Duong Da. I've received orders from headquarters appointing Instructor Lam Dung Tin as the Supreme Commander. I am the adjutant sent to assist Captain Tong Nu in suppressing this rebellion. We need to know the current situation." "Where is Captain Tong Nui?" Deng Chi quickly replies. "Captain Tong Nu ordered us to protect this facility for now." "Wait, is my brother the Supreme Commander? Lam Dung Tin?" Meanwhile, over where Yan Hao is, things are getting incredibly tense. Energy system at 170 out of 200. Under the cover of shadow stealth, he instantly flies high, unleashing fatal blows on the beast. The giant earthworm's feelers clash, making a loud metallic ring. The white smoke billowing out only highlights its sheer ferocity. Yan Hao charges right in front of it and strikes with brute force. His skill pierces right through the toxic gland earthworm's skin. Suddenly, Yan Hao is wrapped by its massive tail. The earthworm is slowly dragging him toward its gaping maw. Realizing things have taken a bad turn, Tong Nui provides backup with her mini electron cannon, shouting, "Don't even think about it." Thanks to Tong Nu's quick action, Yan Hao instantly escapes danger. Exhausted, she analyzes the situation. Without a beast, core battlesuit, and beast core weapons, channeling special abilities is still too much of a strain. Honestly, in the entire world, Yan Hao might be the only one who can unleash his powers barehanded. At that moment, the earthworm shifts its target to her. Yan Hao rushes over to protect Tong Nui. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts, destroying the monster's body. Dung Tin appears and asks, "Are you guys all right?" He gasps in surprise. "Instructor Lam," Tong Nu reports, "this thing is a behemoth class." Dung Tin reassures them, a massive flame erupting from his hand. Turn to ash. The raging flames swallow the entire area, completely blocking their vision. Yan Hao marvels. Is this the power of an A rank? Incredible. But as the smoke and fire clear, the earthworm's body emerges once more. It wasn't defeated by that attack. Instead, it only became more enraged. Dung Tin raises his hand, his eyes burning with determination. Looks like it won't be that easy. The monster continues to thrash wildly, but Dung Tin just calmly smiles. "Then let's do it again." The beast keeps spewing out a massive cloud of dust, completely blinding everyone. He warns them, "We've lost visibility. Everyone, stay alert." Suddenly, Yan Hao's eyes shift, turning incredibly sharp. Sensing the movement, he screams, "It went underground." At his warning, everyone scatters, shouting, "Get out of the way!" The monstrous earthworm bursts out of the ground once more. Dung Tin asks with concern, "Is everyone all right?" He replies, "We're fine." Dung Tin analyzes, "We have to clear this dust storm, or else." Suddenly, a skill is unleashed, leaving everyone stunned. Wind pressure bullet. It's Kim Oan. Placing her hands on her hips, she asks, "Is everyone okay?" Tong Nu asks, "How did you guys get in here? What's the status of the underground base?" Deng Chi answers, "The base has been secured by the reinforcements Dung Tin brought. The test subjects have already been moved. Yan Hao is relieved. Good. This thing isn't easy to deal with. Let's pin it down together and look for an opening. The earthworm then begins tunneling into the ground again. Dung Tin notices, trying to run? Right then, their powers combine. Gale blessing. But then they see it's completely unharmed, gaping its massive maw threateningly. Its charred skin slowly sheds, molting. Gritting his teeth in anger, he mutters, "It's still alive." Kim Oan gasps, "No way," Dung Tin concludes. "It's a regeneration ability. That's incredibly rare. But all of a mutant beast's energy comes from its beast core. Destroy that, and it won't be able to regenerate anymore," she says with dread. "You want us to find a core inside this giant thing?" Seeing the earthworm lunge, she quickly conjures a shield. She screams, "Here it comes again. I can't hold it." Tong Nui quickly focuses, lightning crackling all around her. Tong Nui grits her teeth, her eyes glowing as she activates her electromagnetic sensing. She peers straight through the beast's body to find its weak spot. Her body exhausted, Tong Nui weakly mutters, "Found it. It's on the left side of its belly." The energy reaction there is incredibly intense. Dung Chi rushes over to support her, shouting, "Captain," he orders, "get her out of here. She really is a handful." Dung Tin then unleashes a massive burst of fire, shouting, "You filthy beast, your weak spot is exposed." A catastrophic explosion sweeps across the area, exposing the beast's body, and there it is, its core. Kim Oan immediately unleashes her skill, screaming, "Shatter! Don't stop the attack." The crowd clamors, "It's no use. Its defense is too strong. Normal attacks won't scratch that core." Yan Hao focuses, trying to find a way. The attack needs to be even stronger. Red mist bullets? My previous battle with Lu Fong drained too much red mist. Now, I can't gather enough to form a bullet. He stares at the object beneath his feet in confusion. What's this? Did Instructor Lam's attack pull this thing out too? Yan Hao fell silent, lost in thought. Earlier, Kim Oan had told him the red mist inside was incredibly dense, and that he could only gamble on it once. Without hesitating, he crushed the test tube and absorbed its contents. Sure enough, this red mist was on a whole different level. Meanwhile, the giant earthworm was going wild, sending everyone flying with its attacks. Suddenly, the monstrous creature locked its eyes on Dung Chi as he was carrying Tong Nui on his back to escape. It kept closing the distance, growls constantly rumbling from its throat. Looking back, he felt a wave of dread. We are done for. At that exact moment, Yan Hao, in his fully berserk form, charged in. He conjured a massive, glowing pink energy sphere. Yan Hao roared, "I am counting on you," putting every ounce of his strength into pushing the magic sphere forward. The beast shrieked in agony, thrashing wildly in the air as the sphere drove straight toward its weak spot, the beast core. Finally, it was over, as the beast exploded into pieces. But then, Yan Hao found himself standing in a pitch-black void. Tu Tuyet ran up to him, her voice filled with worry. "Big brother." He turned around, startled, Tu Tuyet, before she threw herself into his arms. "Where did you go, big brother?" Yan Hao gently patted her head. "I am sorry, it is my fault." But then, he paused. "Wait, why are you here?" Tu Tuyet looked lost and confused by his question. "What do you mean?" Yan Hao squeezed her hand. "I mean... Wait. Where on earth are we?" Suddenly, a flame erupted on his hand. The bizarre sight caught Yan Hao completely off guard as the fire began spreading across his entire body. "Why is this happening?" Tu Tuyet stood by, screaming in a panic. "Big brother!" The fire was burning him alive, and Yan Hao screamed out in agonizing pain. "Ah!" Tu Tuyet sobbed, rushing toward him. "Big brother!" He could only raise his hand to stop her, yelling, "Tu Tuyet, stay back, do not come over here." Yan Hao bolted upright, waking up from the nightmare with his body drenched in sweat. He sat there, his mind racing as he pictured Tu Tuyet being swallowed by a sea of fire. "Do not come save me," Yan Hao cried out her name, Tu Tuyet. He stared blankly up at the ceiling. Was that just a dream, or did it actually happen? And where am I? Sitting in a chair nearby, Dung Tin rested his chin on his hand. This is the headquarters of the Special Response Team, the Blood Testing Medical Research Institute. Yan Hao looked at him, puzzled. "Instructor Lam, what is going on?" Dung Tin replied, "Given your unique situation, if anything goes sideways, someone needs to be here to handle it immediately. You have been asleep for 3 whole days, kid. Looking at how you were thrashing around earlier, I thought we would have to. Well, let us just say it looks like we will not be needing to do that now." He gave a forced laugh. I completely agree with your logic, Instructor. But deep down, he thought, was Instructor Lamb seriously waiting for me to lose control of my inner beast just so he could put me down? After all, the military would never fully trust a humanoid beast that just appeared out of nowhere. I need to find Tu yet, and fast. Yan Hao looked around the room. What about the others? How is that giant guy doing, and what happened to the red mist base? Deng Tin replied. Aside from Tong Nu overusing her abilities, everyone else is fine. You wiped out the beast, and the people from the underground base have been transferred to this research lab. Just then, Kim Oan came rushing into the research lab. Yan Hao quickly turned back to Deng Tin. How is Athak doing right now? He looked at him. Do you mean the guy we brought in from the Luke Dang underground base? Before he could finish his sentence, a sudden noise from outside cut him off as Kim Oan burst through the door, panting for breath. Yan Hao, you are awake. She immediately rushed over to inspect him, checking him from head to toe. No signs of contamination? No weird mutations inside your body? After absorbing that highly concentrated red mist, how on earth are you completely fine? Her sudden hands-on approach flustered him. Hey, what are you doing? Kim Oan gave him an intensely curious look. What on earth is your biological makeup? You have completely transcended human limits, you know. Yan Hao adjusted his clothes and gently pushed her back. Stop making a scene. He asked with deep concern, how is Athak doing? Right now, Athak was lying in the isolation ward of the research facility. Kim Oan explained. Athak's body has a massive amount of highly concentrated red mist inside it. Although there is no signs of mutation or infection, his consciousness will not be returning anytime soon. Standing in front of the isolation window, Yan Hao never expected this to be the outcome. He gritted his teeth, clenching his fist tightly, while resting his other hand against the glass. Truong Thui, that bastard. What on earth is the person behind him trying to research? Deng Tin slipped his hands into his pockets. Truong Thui already confessed to everything. He quickly turned to Deng Tin. What did he say? It definitely has to do with Luke Dang, right? Tong Nu suddenly walked up. He claims he acted entirely alone. Yan Hao was shocked. Captain Tong, how is that even possible? What about that guy Lu Fong, and this Mr. Hong he kept mentioning? Not to mention the beasts in the breeding facility and the lab beneath the red mist base. Tong Nu frowned. I know, but all the evidence we found points directly to Truong Thui, and he has taken full responsibility for it. There is definitely an invisible hand pulling the strings behind all of this. She turned to leave. Let us go. The chief of the general staff wants to meet with everyone. Yan Hao followed close behind. How did you even know I was at that place? Tong Nui replied. Kim Oan told me. He glanced back at Kim Oan in frustration, thinking to himself, this girl never changes. Is she going to stalk me every time I eat, take a shower, and asleep? Once they arrived, Song Rui knocked on the door, and a voice from inside called out, Come in! Chief of Staff, our guest has arrived, and Chung was currently eating. Hey Chief, what are you still doing over there? Everyone's already here. Get over here, Jin Ying huffed. Dad, I can't believe you're secretly snacking all by yourself. Song Lian turned to look at everyone, gesturing toward the chairs. Please, have a seat. All right, cut the chatter. Yan Hao, the news of you defeating that colossal beast has already spread far and wide. Not just the government, but factions everywhere now have their eyes on you. Right now, you're standing in the eye of the storm. It might seem peaceful, but fierce winds are howling all around you. One wrong move, and you'll be swallowed whole. So, tell me, what are your plans? Yan Hao fell into thought. He was right. He had originally planned to keep a low profile, but he never expected things to escalate so quickly. Coming here was definitely no coincidence. I'd like to hear your thoughts, Chief. He smirked. You already know about Zhang Shui's situation, right? Yan Hao looked back at Song Lian. Yes, I do, but I have a feeling he's hiding something. Holding up a file, the chief continued. The Luden Group has already issued an official statement. They claim they had absolutely no knowledge of that underground base or the breeding facility. What's more, they insist there's no one named Hong in their upper management. The Luding Group has deep-running ties with the military. So, without irrefutable evidence, we can't launch a public investigation. And Chung pushed up his glasses. Besides, we still haven't rooted out the spy from that last security breach. There are too many factions within the military playing power games to keep each other in check. Given the current climate, even if we wanted to investigate the Luding Group, our hands are tied. The higher-ups simply won't allow it. Yan Hao frowned. Who exactly are these higher-ups? Song Lian's expression turned grave. The ultimate authority in this world. The high command of the military government. That's why I'm hoping to borrow your strength. Yan Hao thought to himself, this old fox. Here I thought he actually cared about me. It turns out his hands are just tied. And now, he wants to use me as his pawn. Suddenly, Song Rui slammed her hands on the table. Chief, Yan Hao is already in the eye of the storm, just like you said. Why are you trying to drag him into this too? Yongxin leaned forward, resting both hands on the table. Instead of running like prey, it's much better to become the hunter and fight back. If you want to survive, you have to adapt. Song Lian chimed in. You don't have to give me an answer right away. Go back, think it over, and let me know your decision. Yongxin, look after them for now. You are their instructor, after all. He snapped to attention. Yes, sir. As night fell, Yan Hao stood alone on the rooftop. His mind kept drifting back to those words. Instead of being the prey, become the hunter. Down at the Shishui main training grounds, the chief of staff had organized a grueling 3-month joint training program to boost the recruits' combat readiness. But the training itself was nothing more than a convenient cover story. The real goal was to stall internal conflicts, weed out the mole, and unify the military's fractured factions. Yan Hao recalled Song Lian's request to use his strength. Currently, he was completely in the dark about the military's inner workings. On top of that, his absolute priority was to find any leads on Xiao Shui as fast as possible. He had to tread carefully with the chief's offer. Before giving his final answer, he could use this joint training program as a stepping stone. The recruits clamored around, staring up at the scoreboard. Whoa, look at that. On the screen, Yan Hao had 210 points. Jin Ying had 95, and Zhang Jin had 45. The Zhishui point system went live, exactly 1 month after the recruits enlisted. They could earn points through training missions or by placing bets on free spars, then trade them for military gear. 1 Zhishui point was worth 1,000 alliance credits. The recruits stared at the board in disbelief. 210 points? Resting his chin in his hand, Yan Hao calculated. 210,000 alliance credits. This sum likely included the bounties from his last 2 encounters. A few jealous recruits nearby started whispering bitter comments. I've been grinding my tail off for a whole month and barely scraped together a double-digit score. How is this fair? Well, rumor has it, he took down a colossal beast on his own. Are you kidding me? If he actually had that kind of power, there's no way he'd still be a regular grunt. He would have been promoted ages ago. Zhang Jin sneered. Oh, that fight? Please, anyone can see Instructor Lin did all the heavy lifting. Someone just happened to steal the spotlight. Talk about thick-skinned. Song Rui's face darkened as she glared at him. Zhang Jin, you'd better shut your mouth and keep your garbage opinions to yourself. Yan Hao has more than enough power to absolutely crush you. Jin Ying chimed in. Yeah, no kidding. He's always so full of himself. Talk is cheap after all. Seeing the tension rise, Tang Ye stepped in to defuse the situation. Come on, guys, we're all comrades here. What's the point of arguing over nothing? Song Rui stood with her hands on her hips, still glaring. Squad leader Tang Ye offered a polite smile. Look, Yan Hao's score was generated by the system based on official regulations. I even double-checked with Instructor Lin. Still, it's completely natural for everyone to be curious about the top scorer. So, how about this? On behalf of everyone here, I'll spar a few rounds with Yan Hao. Ngim Hao, how about it? I'm betting 40,000 alliance coins. Everyone was stunned to hear this. 40,000. That's enough to upgrade a dorm room to a single room with a private bathroom for an entire year. Kim Oan was thrilled. Ngim Hao, beat him up. If you win, this lady will help you figure out how to spend all that cash. Ngim Hao thought to himself, Truong Tan's schemes won't stop here. Whatever, I'll use this opportunity to assert my dominance. At least before I give my answer to the chief of staff, I can avoid some unnecessary trouble. He smirked. If Captain Duong is interested, then I'm happy to oblige. Everyone gathered in a circle and began whispering. Captain Duong is widely recognized as the strongest B-rank fighter, with tons of real combat experience. No matter how good Ngim Hao is, he's still just a rookie. Duongda put on his iron gauntlets, his entire body radiating a blue aura. Ngim Hao, my beast core grants me ice abilities. Let me see that unique beast core weapon of yours. With that, he slammed his hand onto the ground, sending a long trail of ice racing toward Ngim Hao. He quickly sprang back, successfully dodging his opponent's attack. Ngim Hao planted 1 foot to land. No wonder he is the strongest B rank. This is way more powerful than Lu Feng. Duangda pulled his hand back. We're not done yet, Yan Hao, watch out. Sharp shards of ice shot rapidly toward him. Yan Hao sprinted away. Although the destructive power was massive, his speed wasn't as fast as Lu Feng's. Duangda braced himself and slammed his hand hard onto the ground, unleashing Glacier Starburst as a massive block of ice shot out like a giant cannonball. With his beast-transformed arm, Yan Hao dodged the strike. Every single move he made took Duangda by surprise. He's so fast. Yan Hao rushed toward him, raising his beast claws. Suddenly, Dung Tin unleashed his firepower, flames engulfing his entire body. That's enough. Stop right there. Yan Hao, you win this round. Duangda, you don't have any objections, do you? He extended his hand with a smile. None at all. I lost fair and square. Yan Hao politely replied, thanks for holding back, Captain Duang. Seeing the outcome, the crowd went wild. To think Captain Duang would lose to a rookie. He is insanely strong. How on earth did he pull that off? Duangda put his hands on his hips. I assume nobody has any more questions now, right? Kim Oan was ecstatic. Oh my gosh, 40,000 in the bag. Tong Nui looked at her and said, you're acting like you're the one who just won 40,000. Kim Oan waved her hands. Since I've been looking out for him so much, it's only fair he pays me back, right? Truong Tan clenched his fists in anger. To think the gap between us is this massive. I need to get stronger. No matter what it takes, I must get rid of him. 1 month later, Than walked into Tong Liam's office. Old Tong, what's the rush? Tong Liam handed him some documents. A beastman killed 2 people in the northwest region. The local patrol has been tracking its trail. And the last place the beastman vanished was Tukam Town. Than held the documents. A beastman? Could this be? Tong Liam replied, exactly. The analysis indicates that it's my missing younger brother, Tong Che. Old Kim, based on your current research, what are the chances of a beastman regaining their sanity? Than stared at the photo. Less than 1%. Beast transformation doesn't just affect the physical body, it also corrodes the mind. Someone who can maintain their humanity, like Yan Hao, is truly a miracle among miracles. Besides, no one knows how much longer he can hold on to it. What do you plan to do? If you can't capture it safely, how will you handle it? Old Tong, think about this carefully. If that girl Tong Nui finds out, she'll never forgive you for the rest of her life. Back then, you chose the greater good over family, which already made her resent you. Tong Liam rested his chin on his hand. Sacrifices must be made to protect the innocent. His face grew serious. We just have to bear it. Meanwhile, Tong Nui had just finished her shower when she noticed a notification pop up on her phone. She quickly answered. Kim Oan spoke loudly on the other end. Tong Nu, is anyone else around? I've got some massive news. Listen up. A moment later, Tong Nui got dressed and rushed frantically to the office. Dad, you have news about Uncle? Why didn't you tell me? Tong Liam sat at his desk. Did Kim Oan leak this to you? What a nuisance. Stay out of this. I've already dispatched the special operations team to handle it. Tong Nui insisted. Please let me go with them. His face hardened as he heard that. If I ordered you to put down Tong Chu, would you have the courage to pull the trigger? She clenched her fists, lowering her gaze. But he's my uncle. Tong Liam continued. As of right now, you are relieved of your duty to protect Yan Hao. Without my orders, you are not to leave headquarters. Moments later, Tong Nui headed to the parking lot, where Kim Oan was already waiting for her. She stood with her arms crossed, a heavy bag resting at her feet. I knew you'd show up here. There are emergency supplies in here. As for your dad, I'll find a way to buy you some time. Tong Nui clutched the bag. Thank you. Kim Oan looked at her. A favor from this lady doesn't come cheap, so you'd better pay me back. Tong Nu recalled the time she was protected by Tong Chu. Tong Nui, run. She started her car. If only I had been brave enough back then to tell Dad that Uncle did it to protect. If only I hadn't been consumed by corrosion, maybe things would have turned out differently. This time, I'm not backing down. Hang on, Uncle. I'm coming for you. I'll find a way to turn you back into a human, no matter what. Meanwhile, everyone gathered for a meal at the camp cafeteria. Looking at the mouth-watering food on the table, Kim Oan gasped. Not bad, Yan Hao. You finally wised up and realized you need to treat a lady like me properly. Kong Vu was worried. Brother Neem, isn't this a bit too lavish? I haven't had a feast like this in 6 months. Is the world ending tomorrow, or something? Yan Hao shook his head. You're exaggerating. You guys have helped me out so much in the past, and I happen to have some extra resources lately, so don't be shy. By the way, why aren't Captain Song and Deputy Lam here? Kim Oan said between bites. Song Nui had some personal business to attend to, so she took a few days off. Kung Vu added, and Deputy Lam seems to be on another mission. Yan Hao asked, is that so? Then, he thought of Song Nui, and fell into deep thought. He had assumed Song Nu was actively trying to recruit him just so he would join Chief of Staff Song's faction. But her previous attitude toward the Chief of Staff was clearly different. What on earth does Song Nui want from me? While they were eating, Kim Oan's phone buzzed. She picked it up, read the notification, and looked slightly surprised. She turned and handed the phone to Yan Hao. Look at this. At that, he stood up abruptly, making Kung Vu ask in surprise. What's wrong? Yan Hao replied, Athak is awake. Kung Vu asked, are we going to see him now? Yan Hao answered, we can't wait. Call a lich to come with us. Kim Oan asked, confused, but why? Earlier, Kung Vu had explained that Brother Neem had promised a lich to help find his brother, but since Athak hadn't woken up yet, they hadn't told him. A short while later, at the Blood Soldiers Treatment and Research Facility, a lich's voice rang out, Brother! From the hospital bed, Athak spoke in a weak voice, a lich. A lich rushed over and hugged him tightly. Brother, where have you been? Athak said, I'm sorry. Kung Vu was incredibly moved. This is wonderful. Yan Hao spoke up. Athak, I'm sorry to interrupt your reunion. I have a few questions for you. Please, tell me what you know. Athak looked dazed and asked, who are you? A lich quickly chimed in. He saved us. Brother Niem is our savior. Yan Hao handed him a photo of Tua Tuyet and asked, does this girl look familiar to you? Athak held the photo, looking confused. This girl, Yan Hao said, take your time, don't rush. Kim Oan added, on May 11th, 1988, you were on a search and rescue escort mission, and this girl was among the survivors. Do you remember her? A series of memories began to surface in Athak's mind. The search and rescue mission. I remember now. On the day the red mist broke out, the military hastily formed a rescue team. I was sent to the city center to search for survivors. The scene was absolutely horrifying. There were bodies and infected mutant monsters everywhere. Near a crashed helicopter, we found this girl. Her body was completely fine, but she couldn't remember a single thing. We had no choice but to take her to the military shelter. She stayed at the shelter for about 2 days, and then 2 people came to pick her up. They had orders signed by high-ranking officials, with all the paperwork in order, claiming they were taking her for psychological treatment. Yan Hao asked eagerly, and then what? Where did they take her? Athak continued, since she didn't remember anything and had no one to look after her, I was planning to accompany her to the treatment center. Her destination was Tukam Town, but after arriving there, I was assigned to another mission. Right after I left Tukam Town, something unexpected happened. As for what followed, I can't remember a thing. Hearing this, Yan Hao muttered in shock, Tukam Town. Beside him, Kim Oan was lost in thought. Where did Song Nui's uncle go recently? Tua Tuyet was also taken there. This is definitely no coincidence. What kind of secrets is Tukam Town hiding? Meanwhile, in the mountainous area just outside Tukam Town, Song Nu was stealthily tailing 2 men ahead of her. She thought to herself, I've searched the entire town during this time, but there's still no word of my uncle. Could he be up on this mountain? What are these guards keeping watch for? Up ahead, Avu complained, why did the boss suddenly tell us to tighten security? Vuong Dot replied, lately, the townspeople have been spreading rumors and asking questions. The boss is worried that what we're doing here will be exposed. Watching from a distance, Song Nui thought, what are they up to? They're acting so suspicious. Whatever they're carrying in that vehicle is definitely not normal. Suddenly, she looked up. Shoot, there's a camera here. Avu shouted, over there, Vuong Dot. A strange girl. Vuong Dot drew his gun. Don't let her escape. Quick, go inform the boss. Bullets flew, but Song Nui swiftly dodged them. Avu yelled, pass the word down. We must capture her. Get over here. She's this way. Song Nui dashed off, dodging the pursuers behind her. In a flash, a mob of thugs lunged at her. Song Nui cursed in frustration. With a sweep of her arm, a powerful crackle of lightning burst forth. She knew she couldn't afford to get caught here. The intense lightning struck them down, sending agonizing screams through the air. Song Nui thought, since this is a covert operation, I'm only wearing the Beast Core gloves. I can't unleash my full power. Sure, but against this bunch of losers, it should be more than enough. Suddenly, a sinister voice echoed it was an ability user. Right after that, Hao Tian lunged forward, roaring, "Get out of the way! You dare trespass on my turf? Are you tired of living?" Song Rui glared at him with eyes full of killing intent. She instantly unleashed a strike, her powerful lightning blasting him far back. But it didn't even scratch him. Hao Tian threw his head back and smirked, completely unfazed. In a flash, he grabbed Song Rui's wrist and hurled her away, sending her sliding across the dirt. Standing tall, Hao Tian asked arrogantly, "Spit it out, who sent you?" Song Rui struggled to sit up, clutching her aching arm. Song Rui fell deep into thought. Her lightning strike didn't do a thing to him. Could he be an ability user too? Meanwhile, the other thugs rushed her, shouting, "Get her! She has crazy lightning powers." But Song Rui quickly blasted them back with her lightning. Seizing the moment, she charged forward, lightning crackling in her hand, thinking, "This guy has incredibly high lightning resistance. Even if I can't unleash my ultimate move, temporarily paralyzing him should be a piece of cake." She slammed a powerful palm strike into Hao Tian, making the ground beneath them shake. He scoffed, "If it weren't for this, I might have actually lost to you." But to her shock, her powerful lightning was deflected, hitting a nearby tree instead. As the dust cleared, Hao Tian's massive figure emerged unscathed. He sneered, "But from here on out, you don't stand a chance." The M-Type 1 military combat suit can enhance the user's abilities and drastically increase their defense. Song Rui gasped in shock. "A military-grade combat suit? How on earth did you get your hands on that?" Hao Tian didn't bother to answer, shouting, "Get her! Once we interrogate her and find out who's pulling her strings, she's all yours." One thug rushed right at her, yelling, "I get first dibs." Song Rui stood frozen, her mind racing. Without a combat suit of her own, using her abilities had completely drained her. Suddenly, a powerful flash of light blasted the thug right in the face, making him scream in agony. Yan Hao suddenly materialized, stepping in front of Song Rui to shield her. In a daze, Song Rui asked, "Yan Hao, are you okay?" Seeing him, the thugs immediately grew cautious. One thug yelled, "She's got backup." Hao Tian roared, "Grab them both. Do this, and I'll give you a cut of the mine's profits." The entire mob charged at them. But right then, Jin Ying appeared, holding a swirling vortex of wind in her hands. She screamed, "Tempest!" In an instant, the hurricane swept the thugs off their feet, throwing them back. Hao Tian gritted his teeth in fury. "Another ability user? Who the hell are you people?" Jin Ying stood tall and demanded, "Who are you, anyway? Why are you attacking my precious Rui? Song Rui snapped back. "Who are you calling your Rui? Hao Tian barked in rage. "You dare sneak onto my turf? I'm going to tear all you losers to pieces." From behind them, Song Rui warned anxiously, "Be careful. He's an ability user too, and his power level is at least B rank." Yan Hao simply raised a single finger toward the sky. Hao Tian scoffed. "What, you think you can take me out with a single hit?" Infuriated, he lunged forward with full force. "You think you've got what it takes?" He closed the distance, but Yan Hao remained completely unfazed. He bellowed, "You dare show off in front of me?" But in a flash, Yan Hao threw a devastating punch straight into his face, his beast form strike. He muttered, "You're too noisy." It's a good thing, though I've been wanting to test the results of Instructor Lin's training. The sheer force of the punch sent Hao Tian flying, knocking him out cold the moment he hit the dirt. Turning his back, Yan Hao said, "Let's get out of here first." The three of them piled into the car, and Jin Ying drove them safely away. A while later, during a quick break, Yan Hao spoke up. "Jin Ying told me you skipped training to come to Suyin Town to investigate someone." Yan Hao continued, "Was it that gang?" Hearing this, Song Rui fell silent for a moment before admitting seriously, "Actually, I snuck out here on my own." Hearing that, Yan Hao glared at Jin Ying, thinking, "This girl can lie without even blinking." Jin Ying chimed in, "Why did those guys attack you, anyway?" Song Rui replied, "From what I've gathered so far, they seem to be a local underground syndicate. I found their hideout up in the mountains, but I don't know what they're plotting. Besides, they aren't even the ones I'm tracking. My uncle got infected by the red mist during an incident, and he went missing shortly after. I got intel that he was spotted around here, so I came to check it out." Yan Hao frowned. "If your uncle is infected, why the secret investigation? Did the chief of staff forbid you?" She nodded. "Do you remember Lu Feng?" My uncle's beast form is far more terrifying and dangerous than Lu Feng's ever was. It's my fault he ended up like this. That's why I have to protect him. The real reason I asked you to join Scarlet Blood was because I hoped to use your strength to find a way to turn him human again." Yan Hao fell silent, digesting everything. So that was it. Song Rui wanted to save her uncle, even if it meant defying the chief of staff. That was the deal she had brought up back then. With a faint smile, he said, "Captain Song, if it's a case like Shi's, I might actually be able to help, but with Lu Song's beast form, I honestly don't know if I can pull it off. But I'll do everything in my power to help you. This is our promise." Hearing this, Song Rui said gratefully, "Thank you." Jing Ying chimed in excitedly. "All right, now that everything's cleared up, let's get moving," Song Rui asked curiously. "By the way, why are you guys here?" Yan Hao explained. "Shi is awake. He told me that Xiao Shui was brought here 6 months ago." Song Rui sighed. "I've been trying to gather info these past few days, but almost everyone has been hostile toward me. I have a feeling there has to be a connection between all these events." Yan Hao's eyes hardened with determination. "No matter what, I must find my sister." A short while later, the old, dilapidated houses of Suyin Town began to come into view. Jing Ying was currently locked in battle with someone, and they were hounding her relentlessly, like she had just poked a hornet's nest. Nearby, Song Rui spoke up. "I didn't want to waste time dealing with them at first, but now we should just force our way through." Suddenly, one of the guys fled in a panic, prompting Jing Ying to shout, "Hey, one's getting away." But before she could make a move, a powerful force suddenly blasted him back. A figure slowly stepped out of the shadows. Yan Hao asked warily, "Who goes there?" Tang Ye waved his hand with a bright smile. "Don't shoot, I'm on your side." Yan Hao gasped. "Captain Tang." Song Rui asked in surprise, "What are you doing here?" Tang Ye replied, "This is no place to talk, follow me. I was ordered by the chief of staff to search for your uncle, Song Zhao, and also to ensure your safety. Earlier, I heard the sounds of fighting and figured it might be you guys, so I headed this way." Song Rui asked in astonishment, "Just by yourself?" Tang Ye scratched his head. "Our team's temporary camp is up in the mountains. We spotted some beastmen, but there's an Overlord-class beast roaming around up there, so we're trying to figure out a way to bypass it before taking action. The chief of staff wants you to turn back right now. If you do, your punishment will be lightened. Everyone, you should really leave this search mission to professionals like us." Song Rui said resolutely, "He's my blood uncle. Now that we have a lead, I have to go. If they try to harm him, I need to be there to stop them." Jing Ying chimed in, "We're a team. We stick together. Besides, we can help you take down some mutant beasts along the way." Tang Ye sighed. "Fine. Since you're so determined, I won't try to force you otherwise. We can sneak in through a quiet, secluded path, but once this is over, you must promise to come back with me." He then looked down at his phone and said with a smile, "Let me notify my teammates first." Yan Hao asked, "By the way, while you were scouting the mountain, did you see any building that looked like a research lab?" Tang Ye thought for a moment. "A research lab? Actually, we did spot an abandoned building that looked a lot like a research facility. How did you know?" Yan Hao thought to himself, "No wonder Shi said there was no lab in town. It was hidden in the mountains all along. We definitely need to get inside now." The group set off together, and before long, they arrived at the entrance of a massive cave. Tang Ye said, "Here we are. As expected, there's no surveillance or electronic equipment set up here." Suddenly, Yan Hao called out, "Wait up, Captain Song." He then handed Song Rui a long object wrapped carefully in cloth. Jing Ying turned to her and said, "I didn't get a chance to give this to you earlier, so here you go." Song Rui asked curiously, "Could this be?" Jing Ying chuckled playfully. "It's a grand gift from Yan Hao. He used a Thunderbeast core and spent 150,000 alliance credits to upgrade your weapon." Yan Hao cleared his throat, looking a bit embarrassed. "Hey, Jing Ying, cut it out. And when are you going to pay me back? I risked my life to bring you here, you know." Yan Hao replied, "Let's focus on the mission first." Tang Ye warned, "Keep your guard up once we step inside. Just keep moving forward. Our temporary camp is just ahead." Jing Ying stared at a device in her hand, frowning. The energy readings here are extremely erratic. High up on a nearby cliff, a colossal serpent silently watched them. Suddenly, it bared its massive fangs and spat out a stream of green liquid. The acid shot straight toward where Jing Ying was standing. Realizing the danger, Tang Ye lunged forward and raised his shield to protect her. He shouted, "Watch out! I didn't expect it to be hiding here of all places. Suddenly, the shield shattered, and some of the liquid splashed onto Tang Ye's shoulder. He groaned in pain. Damn it, it got me. Standing nearby, Yan Hao analyzed the situation, Tang Ye's reaction. It was almost as if he knew Jingying was going to be attacked beforehand. Tang Ye collapsed to his knees. This thing is incredibly stealthy. My team has suffered heavily because of it. I've been poisoned, so I won't be of much help. Seeing this, Yan Hao didn't hesitate and dashed forward. I've got this. Spotting him, the rattlesnake hissed aggressively and bared its fangs once more. Yan Hao's arm transformed, and he sliced cleanly through its body. Tang Ye watched in awe. To think Yan Hao could suppress an Overlord-class beast all by himself. And to think I actually thought I could go toe-to-toe with him earlier. Jingying smirked. Of course he can. He's our trump card, after all. Suddenly, a massive shadow leaped high into the air behind them, slamming down and sending shockwaves through the ground. From behind the screen of smoke, an Overlord-tier beast, the Scarlet Flame Ox Beast, suddenly emerges. Right after that, another Overlord-tier creature, the steel-backed burrowing lizard, joins the party. Jingying gasps in shock. What is going on? There are 3 monsters surrounding us. Caught in the middle, Song Rui quickly replied. I have no idea what is going on either. Tang Ye, there has always been an Overlord-tier beast here. Suddenly, from high up on the cliff, a voice shouted, You guys actually dared to run in here. Hao Tian stood there arrogantly, shouting, I was just careless last time. But let us see where you run this time. Yan Hao looked up, calculating in his mind. He also has the ability to control mutated beasts, and his obedience rate is even higher than those Qixi clan guys. How on earth does he pull that off? Tang Ye stood up and said, Everyone, I am sorry for dragging you into danger. I will temporarily restrain that snake. I will leave the others to you guys. Jingying said, How can you handle that? Do not overdo it. Tang Ye said with determination, I promise to bring you all back safely, and I will do my absolute best. Yan Hao said, Captain Song, looks like we need to clear out these obstacles if we want to search for our people in peace. Let us split up and take them down. Song Rui replied, Leave that gorilla to me. It is the perfect chance to test out this new weapon. She shouted, Let's go. Meanwhile, Tang Ye confronted the giant snake head-on. He touched the ground, and sharp icicles shot up, attacking the snake. Hao Tian walked over arrogantly. Hey kid, I am here this time. Let us see how you break my defense now. That wind-blowing girl next to you is useless right now. It is 4-on-1. Get ready to cry. Yan Hao's eyes went cold as he lowered his voice. 4-on-1? I suggest you take those words back. On the other side, Song Rui stood before a ferocious monster with 2 horns, her face completely expressionless. She gripped her gun tightly. Yan Hao added, When Captain Song is angry, even I do not dare to mess with her. Song Rui held the heavy gun, which was crackling with powerful purple electrical energy. She thought to herself, this weapon really is amazing. The scarlet flame bullhead pounced, preparing to slam its fist down on her. Its punch shattered the ground, causing a violent explosion. Fortunately, Song Rui nimbly dodged. Taste this. She aimed at the scarlet flame bullhead and fired a powerful beam of purple energy. The shot sent it flying back a few yards. Yan Hao used his power to charge and fight the ironback earth lizard. He slashed a deep gash into its leg. Jingying supported him, using her wind power to manifest a bird that flew straight at the monster. His face darkened completely. Standing on top of the monster's head, the man stretched his hands forward. Jingying was surprised. Wait, that guy can nullify elemental attacks? What a pain. The ironback earth lizard opened its mouth and blasted a massive surge of energy at the ground. The 2 of them quickly dodged out of the way. Yan Hao stood in front of Jingying, watching the beast display its power. He turned to smile at her. Jingying, let us do this. Understanding his plan, she smiled, raised an eyebrow, and clenched her fists. Got it. Leave it to me. Yan Hao absorbed the energy into a sphere and launched it. Take this, Earth Surge Dragon Fist. Jingying combined her power to form a ring around the sphere. It was hit hard by their combined attack. The ironback earth lizard thrashed about, throwing the man off its back. In its panic, it breathed out a barrage of red beams, shooting randomly without aiming. Thrown off, the man had not even recovered his senses yet. Yan Hao rushed forward and grabbed the enemy's face. Clutching his face with utter disdain, he yelled, Get lost! Yan Hao threw him hard right into the center of the red light blasted by the monster. Meanwhile, he channeled his strength to deliver the final blow, to finish off the monster. He slashed deeply into the chest of the ironback earth lizard. At the same time, Song Rui also blew the scarlet flame bullhead away. Standing in front of the rising dust, dripping with sweat, she slung her gun over her shoulder. I actually defeated an Overlord tier beast all by myself. Jin Ying ran over happily. Rui, we are all done here too. On the other side, the rattlesnake bared its fangs amidst the dust and sharp shards of ice. Tang Ye formed a wall of ice to block it. He gritted his teeth. I cannot let it interfere with the others. Just as he was about to give in, his teammates rushed to his side. Yan Hao and Song Rui took turns attacking it. She fired a powerful shot directly at the rattlesnake's head. Right as her shot hit, Yan Hao pounced and slashed at the wound. Unable to withstand 2 consecutive hits, it collapsed right behind the 3 of them. Song Rui said softly, "The weapon you gave me is very easy to use." He replied, "I am glad you like it." Jin Ying chimed in, "Here they go again. You two should just head down to Kangming." She stepped next to Tang Ye. He smiled at them. "I am fine. As expected of you guys, that was an incredible fight." Song Rui walked over. "Captain Tang, thank goodness you held it back. I will report your performance in detail when we get back." The enemy tried to make a quick escape, but he was forced to stop as 2 other people blocked his path. "Stop right there." Tang Ye stood up. "You guys arrived just in time. We need to interrogate that guy." Yan Hao, standing nearby with a dark expression, did not say a word. He walked over and grabbed the man by the throat. The guy was terrified as he was easily lifted up. "Please, do not kill me," Yan Hao said seriously. "Our time is limited. Cooperate and talk, or you will lose your life right here." He stared directly into the man's eyes. "What kind of organization are you operating in these mountains? And why did you put it on lockdown?" Sweat poured down the man's face. "There is a mining vein in the mountains containing a type of red crystal filled with energy, but the military has no idea about it. We frequently sneak in to gather them and sell them on the black market. If you go that way, you will reach the crystal mine. It is all yours. Just spare my life." With that, he pointed toward the cliff, his eyes still darting toward Yan Hao. The teammate who had just arrived looked at the massive setup, wondering if all of this was really just for mining ore. "Captain, when we were setting up camp, we actually did spot some fragments on the ground that looked like some kind of crystal." Hearing this, Yan Hao asked, "We can worry about the ore later. Right now, I want to know how you can control these mutated beasts, and where you got that military combat uniform." His eyes darted around nervously as he stammered, "This. Yan Hao stepped closer, demanding, "Spit it out!" Terrified, the man cried, Someone has been backing us this whole time. They provided everything." Behind them, the red flame bullhead suddenly opened its glowing eyes. Having just woken up, it immediately lunged straight toward them. Yan Hao calmly remarked, "Still alive, huh?" But while everyone was distracted, that guy drew a knife, preparing to stab Kim Oan. Yan Hao, completely unaware, was about to charge at the red flame bullhead. At the Tukam town mine, a cloaked figure stood before the cave entrance. He stepped inside, surrounded by glowing ore, and muttered to himself, "This is the place." The cloaked man reached out his hand, which bore a large black birthmark. A red aura swirled around his arm as he placed his hand onto something. Once he was done, he looked relieved, whispering, "This should suppress it for a while." But then, a sound echoed deep within the cave. Outside, a girl with red hair fluttering in the wind turned around, as if sensing something. "Oh, who is controlling the mutated ghouls?" Frowning in anger, she turned back toward the Tukam Canyon. Meanwhile, that guy leaped up, poised to stab Kim Oan. "I will kill this brat first, then make my escape during the chaos." Fortunately, just as the blade was inches from Kim Oan, she spun around, and blood splattered. Duong Da had swiftly jumped in, taking the stab for her. The guy was stunned. "What?" Duong Da had encased one hand in ice, while his other hand tightly gripped the man's arm. "You want to die that badly? Then let me help you with that. You." Before the man could say anything else, Duong Da slit his throat. At the same moment, the monster was brought down by Tong Nu and Yan Hao. Hearing Kim Oan ask, "Duong Da, why did you kill him?" the two turned around. He rubbed the back of his neck, saying, "It was just a reflex, I wasn't thinking." Kim Oan replied, but he still had so much information left to share. Tong Nu walked over. "What happened?" Duong Da replied, "He tried to kill Kim Oan. It was too dangerous, so I didn't hold back." Tong Nu tilted her head. "From what I know of Kim Oan, She could have easily dodged a surprise attack like that. Captain Duong, don't be so overprotective. You're not wrong. Everyone here, including me, is an elite member of the Red Blood Squad, but I won't risk even a fraction of danger. I'd rather make a mistake than let anything happen to my comrades. She sighed. All right. Is your hand okay? Let's head back to the camp to treat it first. Meanwhile, the red-haired girl had stood nearby, watching them without anyone noticing. Military people? For some reason, her eyes went wide with shock as she stared at that one person. She looked down at Yan Hao, and sensing her gaze, he looked up. Oh, Tong Nui turned back, asking, What is it? Yan Hao replied, Nothing. I must have been seeing things. Let's go. Behind a boulder, the girl scratched her head in frustration. That person. A flood of memories suddenly rushed back to her. It turned out she was Yan Hao's younger sister, Tio Tuye. She suddenly thought of her brother. Meanwhile, the group walked up to a building. Yan Hao stared at the building. Duong Da spoke up. I saw that research lab earlier. There is no one there. It must be abandoned. Brother Nyim, is there a problem? Abandoned? Yan Hao muttered. Could it be? Without explaining, he dashed toward the building, saying, No, I have to go confirm this myself. Kim Oan ran after him, crying, I'll go with you. The rest of you keep searching and stay in touch. She chased after him, calling out, Yan Hao, wait. He ran up, out of breath, and yelled, Is anyone here? Silence was the only reply. Kim Oan walked over, asking, Is this the place Athak mentioned? She picked up a laboratory vial and said, Look, this place has been abandoned for a while now. Outside, Duong Da and Tong Nui walked together. He said, Let's leave this area to them and search over on the other side. That's our only option. The two of them continued walking in silence. Tong Nui broke the silence. Captain, was the mission the Chief of Staff gave you really just to search? Duong Da smiled faintly. Indeed, besides the search order, the Chief of Staff issued another command. If things get out of hand, we are to eliminate the target directly. She asked, confused. Eliminate. He spoke casually, of course. That unexpected situation is based on my judgment on the ground. If we can keep Tong Chu under control, we won't have to resort to elimination at all. No matter what, our priority is to search first. With her question answered, she said, Thank you. A while later, they finally returned to the temporary valley camp. Duong Da, we haven't found any trace of Tong Chu on our end. Did you guys find anything? Yan Hao handed over a notebook, saying, We found a hard drive in this. The hard drive is already with Kim Owen for recovery. Kim Owen was typing away intently. Tong Nui held up the notebook, saying, This is a diary. In the entry for April 30th, 2088, it says, Something happened today. A landslide caused the mist containment tank to rupture, and many people in the town were infected by that mist. Yan Hao looked puzzled. Is this really all there is? Tong Nui asked. I don't even know what an alpha test subject is either. Just as she finished speaking, Kim Oan finally managed to recover the hard drive. Wow, the recovery was a success. As she looked at the screen, a shocked expression washed over her face. Look, this is a photo of Tu Tuyet in a strange outfit. An alpha test subject. Kim Oan shouted, Yan Hao, come check this out right now. The three of them stared intently at the screen. Kim Owen announced, I just recovered a partition on your hard drive. The files inside must be incredibly important to everyone. Yan Hao looked on in disbelief. This is Tu Tuyet's file. At that moment, Dio Tu walked up from behind and asked, Did you find anything important? Hearing the urgency in their voices, her hands flew across the keyboard, instantly bringing up a stream of data. He rubbed his chin and muttered, These photos. He fell deep into thought. That diary contained classified military secrets, and it specifically mentioned Tu Tuyet. We can't let Duong Da see this just yet. Yan Hao spoke up. This hard drive is the only thing we found, though we still don't know who was behind this research. Tong Nui added, The condition of these beastified humans might be very useful for my father's research. Their behavior is just like how my uncle acted at the very beginning. If we can recover more files, maybe we can find a way to help him regain his sanity. Suddenly, Tu pointed at the screen and asked, What's this in here? Kim Oan replied, I have no idea. I haven't opened it yet. On the screen was the silhouette of Tu Tuyet standing alongside a massive monster. Yan Hao wondered, Tu Tuyet, why is she with a mutated beast? He gasped in shock. This is a Behemoth-class monster, and it's right here. If this thing is still alive, It's going to be an absolute disaster for the entire region. When was this photo taken? She reported. According to the timestamp, it was 3 months ago. Dieu. To froze, analyzing the sun's position and the shadow. I've got it. The photo was likely taken in the Western Valley. I'll lead an investigation team out there immediately. Kim Owen, let me know the moment you discover anything new. Then he urged, hurry, show me Tu Tuyet's complete profile. These physical stats are far beyond the normal human range, but something still isn't right. This report is completely different from all previous records of beastified humans. Finally, the screen displayed the name Hong Chin Nam. Yan Hao recognized the surname. Could it be that Mr. Hong from Sich Thach City? Tong Nui said, my father wanted to investigate the connection between Mr. Hong and the Luke Dong Corporation before, but he came up empty-handed. If he was also involved in your sister's experiment, then she might very well be in the hands of someone at Luke Dong. He pondered. The clues are finally starting to connect. Yan Hao announced, I'm going to find that mutated beast. Tu Tuyet's presence, there was no coincidence. There has to be some kind of clue there. Kim Oan said, I'm coming with you. The situation is pretty complicated right now, so we might need real-time analysis. She agreed. The more the merrier. I'm coming too. With that, the three of them set off on a new journey. Suddenly, someone pointed and cried out, Captain, look at the shape of that cliff. Right before their eyes stood a colossal monster. Dio gritted his teeth and said, so its body was hidden. No wonder our previous search didn't turn up any sign of Tong Che. Kim Oan sighed. Its vital signs are extremely weak, which is consistent with a deep sleep. It seems there is no immediate danger. At all. At that exact moment, the ground beneath their feet began to crack. They stood there frozen as the monster drew closer, and someone couldn't help but cry out, oh my God, this is my first time seeing a behemoth-class beast. She stared at the device in her hand and gasped. This is bad. Its vitals are spiking rapidly. Fall back. It was masking its presence all along. They scattered, trying to maintain a defensive formation, but a single attack from the beast sent them free-falling. Terrifying torrents of fire blasted toward them, initiating a fierce attack. Dieu screamed into his communicator, calling headquarters. Tong Nui muttered in confusion, that's bizarre. It clearly has the power to attack us head-on, but instead, it's unleashing wide-range poison. Kim Oan realized. It's altering the surrounding environment. It wants to trap and kill us right here. Yan Hao made a quick decision. We can't just wait for headquarters. We need to disrupt its actions first. She reassured them, don't panic. This guy is trapped in the mountain, making it a stationary target, and its vitals still haven't fully recovered. We still have a chance, she spoke up. All right, let's lock it down together. This is the perfect opportunity to test our teamwork from our recent training. With that, they worked together, launching a desperate struggle against the monster. Tong Nu unleashed her power directly at its body, while he soared into the air, manifesting a massive wave of dark energy. By now, thick smoke was pouring out of the monster's mouth. Dieu too kept his eyes glued to his device, and finally, Kim Oan screamed, Yan Hao, let's take this chance to retreat first. He realized they were in deep trouble. It was trying to break free. It was thrashing wildly, trying to break free and hunt them down. She realized they were in serious trouble this time. There was absolutely no other choice. Together, they had to face the impending battle, as the monster constantly radiated a chilling, murderous aura. Yan Hao spoke up, saying they had to stop it before it went completely berserk. Tong Nui replied, if we don't stop it, this small town will be leveled to the ground. Headquarters reinforcements won't make it in time, and Captain Duong needs your cooperation. Someone asked, and Captain Du replied, Captain Tong Nu, you and your team have successfully defeated a ferocious beast, but for the rest of you, it's too dangerous. Everyone, fall back. Then, someone screamed in panic. It's releasing its breath weapon. Captain, you guys must survive. He forcefully channeled spiritual energy into his hands. Leave it to me. Then, Dieu summoned a massive wave of ice, rapidly forming the glacial heart crystal. Kim Oan praised him. Nice job. Dieu reminded them, leave the defense to me. Everyone else, focus on the attack. Yan Hao was lost in thought, wondering if Captain Duong really had the power to block a giant-class beast's breath. If so, what was that previous incident all about? Seeing his expression, she asked with concern, Yan Hao, are you okay? Returning to his usual self, he replied, I'm fine. Someone screamed in terror. It's charging. Tong Nui quickly unleashed a massive surge of lightning. She also lent a hand, releasing her own energy. Hit from both sides, the beast let out an angry roar. Enraged, it spun around, shielding its body with its massive tail. He realized the beast's body was incredibly tough, and ranged attacks wouldn't do any damage. Dashing forward, Yan Hao launched a barrage of direct strikes. He looked at his hand, pausing for a brief moment as the beast whipped its tail violently, creating a massive gust of wind. He concluded that close combat wouldn't be easy either. This bastard was even more aggressive than the one back in Thok City. Suddenly, the battlefield fell completely silent, leaving everyone stunned. Tong Nui wondered, why did it suddenly stop? He replied, looks like it's just exhausted. Kim Oan reported in confusion, how strange. Its vital signs are incredibly weak, but when the eye on its forehead glows, they spike violently. It's trying to gather energy. Yan Hao analyzed, its vitals have been suppressed by Namthach for months. Now I get it has internal injuries. That's why it can't sustain its outbursts for long. She frowned and said, it looks like that eye is the key. Let's target the eye first. They combined their forces and aimed straight at the monster. Suddenly, strange objects shot out from its body to counterattack. A barrier quickly formed from the fragments of its body, followed by a massive explosion that threatened to swallow the entire area. He realized, it used the shockwave of the exploding crystal to nullify our attacks. She countered, no, that's not it. It feels like this beast knows our exact attack patterns. Yan Hao asked, Captain Tong, any ideas? Tong Nui replied, I have a rough plan, but I'll need everyone's cooperation. Dieu. To chimed in, count me in. First, Yan Hao rushed in to draw its attention and force it to attack him. Getting close, he shouted, hey bastard, look over here. It would likely unleash its ranged breath attack. Someone reported. Captain Duong blocked its breath weapon. She commanded, attack it while it's still stiff from using that move. Then, he used his beast transformation fist to restrain it. A massive explosion erupted on the monster's body, making it roar in agony. Tong Nui praised him while taking aim, shouting, great job. Finally, she unleashed her pure lightning power. Tong Nui said, it won't have time to react. It's definitely going to resort to its old tricks again. Kim Oan knocked its crystal core away. After doing so, she cried out in delight, yes, my attack wasn't enough to kill it, but it temporarily sealed its abilities. Dieu to spoke up, Captain Duong, leave the rest to me. He rushed forward with a heart-piercing ice spear. Dieu to used all his strength to throw it, a confident smile spreading across his face. The plan was absolutely perfect. Then, suddenly, Dieu To's voice rang out, but his tone was chillingly calm. I am so sorry. Suddenly, Yan Hao realized something was wrong, but before he could react, a beam of light pierced straight through his shoulder. A sharp icicle stabbed into his left shoulder, causing blood to gush out. His face contorted in agony as Tong Nui screamed in horror. Duong Da, are you insane? Duong Da smiled wickedly, holding a mysterious box containing a red stone, and calmly walked toward the giant beast. Surprisingly, the beast didn't attack. Instead, it became completely docile. Duong Da said, I honestly didn't expect that even this beast wouldn't be enough to finish you guys off. But thanks to you guys weakening it, I finally got my chance. Tong Nu asked in sheer disbelief, who on earth are you? What is your goal? Kim Oan asked suspiciously, are you the spy my father has been investigating? Hearing this, Duong Da wore a sinister, unreadable smile. Kim Oan continued, you're the military mole. You risked your life to shield us earlier, but it was all just a damn act. Duong Da smirked and replied, if I didn't gain your trust, how else could I have lured you all right into this trap? Pretty good, right? From the moment I took this mission, every single step has been part of my plan. Those Overlord-level beasts from before were just pawns under my control. I used the scent of their blood to wake this giant beast. I thought it would be enough to finish you guys off so I could just take Yan Hao. I didn't expect you all to be so damn stubborn. Yan Hao spoke up. Going through all this trouble just for me? What on earth does the mastermind behind you want? Duong Da replied, you will understand all of that once you get to the other side. What a massive surge of energy. It is using its own life force to attack. Seeing this, Yan Hao rushed forward. Mr. Tong, help me hold this beast back. I will handle Duong Da. Everyone, be careful. Kim Oan screamed, you are the one who needs to be careful. You must come back alive. Duong Da took a combat stance. Did you really think I was only B rank? Let me show you a glimpse of my true power. Yan Hao thought cautiously. If we try to retreat now, we will only be hunted down and killed. The only way out is to eliminate the controller. Da launched a barrage of ice arrows at him, but Yan Hao blocked them all. He realized that someone who could control a giant beast must be much stronger than him, but he still had to complete his mission. Suddenly, Yan Hao lunged forward, tackling Da, and they both tumbled over the edge of a cliff. A beam of light flashed, striking the cliffside. Yan Hao quickly and cautiously backed away from Da. He sneered, "Trying to take me down all by yourself? You certainly have a lot of confidence. Even at your peak, you could never beat me. In your current state, you are just begging for death." System, energy at 180 out of 260. Suddenly, Da waved his hand, sending a blast of ice shooting toward Yan Hao. The hit froze his arms and legs solid. Da then conjured an ice sword, preparing to strike Yan Hao down. Fortunately, he managed to quickly block the deadly blow just in time. The two clashed fiercely in a brutal exchange, separating a few minutes later to prepare their next moves. By now, Yan Hao had grown two monstrous beast arms, his eyes burning with intense, murderous intent, before he suddenly vanished right in front of Da. He scoffed. "Just a cheap vanishing trick? Is that all you have got?" Instantly, Da slammed his hands onto the ground. Sharp icicles shot up from the earth, but they quickly melted and evaporated into thin air. High above, Yan Hao was diving down, landing right behind Da. In his mind, Yan Hao thought, "This is my chance." Elsewhere, the giant beast was still launching fierce attacks. Kim Oan screamed, "Yan Hao, finish him off quickly. We really have nowhere left to run." Da grinned, "I have to admit, you are strong. But in the end, victory belongs to me." Yan Hao did not reply, completely focusing on the glowing red orb forming in his hand. He threw the orb forward and roared, "Take this." Da was ready, forming ice shields on both of his arms and raising them to block the incoming attack. Yan Hao's energy orb slammed into the ice shields, grinding violently against them. But Da quickly deflected its trajectory. The orb crashed into a nearby wall, causing a small explosion. Da sneered, "Are you kidding me? A tiny thing like this cannot break my defense." However, the explosion shook loose several massive boulders from above. Realizing the danger, sheer panic flashed in Da's eyes as a massive boulder crashed straight down toward him. It struck the ground with a violent tremor. Da yelled defiantly, "Do you honestly think a cheap trick like this can ambush me? You are so naive." But Yan Hao was not one to back down, taunting him, "This time, no one is coming to save you." Just like that, a moment later, a horrific pool of red syrup coughed out of his mouth. Yan Hao warned, "It is over, Da. My queen bee venom has already seeped into your internal organs. Stop struggling." Da collapsed in agony. "I really should not have underestimated you." Yan Hao warned him coldly, "The moment you try to use your powers, the queen bee venom will spread throughout your entire body." "Surrender!" Da screamed in rage. "I am a core member of Luke Dang. How could I ever lose to a lowlife like you?" Suddenly, a massive surge of energy erupted with terrifying speed. Yan Hao thought, "So you would rather die than reveal any information about Luke Dang? Is that your final choice?" He kept coughing up dark red syrup from his mouth, looking absolutely pitiful. Yan Hao knelt down to rest, thinking, he really was strong. Using my mini-form took way too much out of me. Suddenly, a massive beast with a giant, drooling mouth appeared, stepping forward to unleash a relentless attack on them. Kim Oan's jaw dropped in absolute shock. "It looks like Yan Hao won." Tong Ni stepped forward, turning his head to ask, "Yan Hao, are you all right?" He smirked and replied, "I am fine." Kim Oan spoke up, "Where is that guy? Let's take him back for interrogation." Yan Hao replied, "He ended his own life. He did not leave behind a single shred of information." Tong Ni stroked his chin, pondering for a moment before speaking. "It seems the loyalty of Luke Dang members to their organization is much higher than we imagined." He continued, "We can investigate Luke Dang slowly later on. For now, the important thing is that we survived." She spoke up, saying, "First off, let us head back to headquarters. Our current situation really does not allow for this," Kim Oan added. "Honestly, what we did this time was completely inappropriate." Tong Nui asked in confusion, "Then how should we have handled it earlier?" She replied, "Maybe we overexerted ourselves back then. So now we are completely running on empty." Yan Hao raised his voice. "Da mentioned earlier that his reinforcements were on the way. We need to be careful." Suddenly, right at that moment, Kim Oh-an spotted a strange object and picked it up to inspect it. Is this scanner broken or something? Could this reading be Duong Da's reinforcements? He shook his head. No, that cannot be right. The beasts with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth made the atmosphere thick with tension. Kim Oh-an warned nervously. Be careful of that person. The equipment had never fluctuated this violently before, especially at such close range. Yan Hao spoke up. I can feel it. That person is insanely powerful. Tong Yu panicked, terrified by whatever she was seeing. Whether human or monster, the figure charged forward with terrifying force, kicking up wild gusts of wind. A man with a shadow-draped face took steady, chilling steps toward them. Tong Chu towered over them, his razor-sharp eyes looking ready to slaughter everyone in sight. Yan Hao broke into a tense sweat. Are you saying that is Tong Chu? Didn't he turn into a beast and lose all his sanity? Tong Nui said in total confusion. I don't know what happened either. At that moment, Tong Chiu spoke in a grave voice. I watched your fight. To achieve so much before even fully evolving, your potential is extraordinary. Sweat dripped down the boy's cheek as he demanded. What on earth are you talking about? Tong Chiu offered. Join me, and together we will create a new world. The boy suddenly snapped back. What kind of insane nonsense are you rambling about? Right then, Tong Yu rushed toward Tong Chiu and cried out, Uncle, but his cold, lifeless face turned toward her with pure wariness. Just a single sharp glare from him was enough to make Tong Nui's knees buckle. Tears streamed down her face as she sobbed, Uncle, it's me, Nui Ni. Seeing Tong Chu remain dead silent made Tong Nu panic. Do you still recognize me? Standing behind, Yan Hao watched in extreme anxiety, while Kim Oh-an gasped in horror. What were they supposed to do? But right then, memories flashed back to when the sky turned dark under Yan Hao's horrifying rampage, making him wonder. Could he be in the exact same state I was in before? Pulses of raw energy kept agonizingly surging through him. Back then, everyone had desperately fought to block Yan Hao's relentless string of attacks. He wondered if Tong Nu could snap Tong Chu out of it the way Tu Tu Yet had saved him. But what was with the overwhelming killing intent oozing off the man? Provoking him now would only make things far more dangerous. If only Tong Nui could snap him back. She whimpered softly, Uncle, please come back. Before she could even finish her sentence, her uncle landed a brutal kick straight to her chest. Coughing up mouthfuls of blood, she crashed down as her data scanning gear flew through the air. Staring in total disbelief, she stammered, Why? Then came Tong Chu's ice-cold voice. Inferior creature. Without hesitation, he hurled Tong Nu high into the murky sky, sending her crashing painfully onto the ground, while everyone watched in absolute shock. Tong Nui was barely breathing, clinging to life. Watching the horrific sight unfold, Kim Oh-an collapsed to her knees in sheer horror. Seeing the long trail of blood pouring onto the ground, Kim Oh-an screamed out, Tong Nu! At that exact moment, the crimson energy sleeping inside him suddenly awakened. A flurry of violent attacks unleashed a terrifying shockwave that closed in fast. By now, Yan Hao had fully transformed into a monstrous beast and lunged forward.